Okay, we are live. What's going on, guys? It's Nathan. Welcome to the Robert Pattinson Fan Club. I'm your host, and today I am joined by the usual suspects of the Hyperspace crew. Joining us, we have Carson.
What's up, guys? It's Barson Battinson here.
Jesus Christ.
Ready to talk some Robert Pattinson and,
I'm tweeting
his
out the show.
ever-expanding career. He's in everything these days. Good for the man. He's a great actor, and I'm excited to talk about some projects, and I'm excited to see that Nathan finally saw Good Time, and I cannot wait to talk about Good Time with Nathan because it is a great movie.
Wow.
Also joining us, we got Evan.
If we are the usual suspects, can I be Kaiser Soze in this situation? I hope so. Yeah, I'm very excited. I finished, I guess, 99% of the Ghibli movies. I just have to watch the first one, the one that's technically not really Ghibli, but it's a Hayao Miyazaki movie. I forget the title right now. That one and the one that's on HBO Max, the Nausicaa, the Valley, Hidden Valley.
Oh, Valley of the Wind.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one either.
But yeah, I'm hyped. This is a packed show. I took a lot of notes on these DC stuff, and I got some good trailer or DC Fandome predictions.
Sounds good. I'm about 0% into my Ghibli binge, but we'll get there eventually. We'll say right off the top, just a special thing. 'Tis my sister's birthday, so
Ooh.
Happy birthday, Nathan, sister!
Happy birthday!
Yeah, while I'm not readily available at her house to be drinking my brains out, I am here. But I would like to say, happy birthday, Amara. Do enjoy your evening. With that being said, into the news here. A lot of stuff. I think the biggest thing to touch on is this coming weekend. DC Fandome is set to kick off, which has now been split into a two-part event that will be divided by 3 weeks. So that was an interesting thing to wake up to.
What's the second part about? Is that one not going to be?
I think they're primarily moving the TV stuff to the other.
Oh, okay, because it was like
makes sense.
It was going to time conflict with stuff like the Flash panel is going to be at the Batman thing or something.
Yeah,
okay,
and so, I know the whole thing was supposed to run for like 24 hours, I guess. But
yeah,
I don't know how everything would have played out. I didn't completely look at the full schedule, but I'm sure the schedule has shifted since then. I know Zack Snyder's been tweeting every day. Now he's like moved to the 2:30 Pacific time slot, so 5:30 Eastern, I think. But yeah, it's super exciting. There's a lot of stuff to come out. I think one of the biggest things is confirmation tweet from Matt Reeves regarding the Batman. Will be most likely presenting some semblance of like small footage, maybe.
Yeah. I was gonna say that footage or the teaser video they put out today.
I was just about to say
had a little clip because a lot of these panels are pre-recorded.
They all are.
They all are pre-recorded.
It's so unfortunate. I'm trying to apply for media on so many things, and it's just
and they're just non-existent.
No point.
But there's a little tiny clip where Matt is like, "How could I not come here and not bring something?" It reminded me of Ryan at actually celebration.
Of course, I have a trailer.
Of course, there's a trailer.
That was amazing.
I love that moment so much. But I'm excited because really, this man's been like literally hunkered down writing for like it feels like 2 years.
Yeah,
since War for the Planet of the Apes.
It feels like such an event when he finally tweets. It's like, oh my god, he's here.
Yeah, all he really tweets these days are like Batman symbols.
Yep.
And then like a picture of the cast member who just added to the cast or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super hyped. Like Carson was saying, there's like little small footage of him with Aisha Tyler, whatever her name is, whoever's hosting the event, and they zoom out a little bit and you can see the silhouette of the Batmobile. So we're gonna see the full. Even though we saw kind of like a teaser image of it, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see it all in its like 3D glory. And that would be pretty cool. I suspect since filming got halted, they only had like a couple weeks of filming in London, if I think it's London. Yeah.
Well, let's mention that quick as that headline came out today that they're going to be resuming in September in the UK, I believe, which is, I think they only got like 6 weeks of filming in or something, and then they got shut down. Yes. We always talk about the staple of Guardians of the Galaxy, had like 3 days of filming or something, and what was it? Was it a Comic-Con where they came to Hall H? It came to Hall H, and it was just a killer teaser. So don't know what exactly they showed. But
I'm about to say the same. What was that teaser? Like, I want to see that Comic-Con Hall H teaser because what did they
I'd
show?
have to do some digging.
it might be unreleased. I think there's only.
Yeah,
people
you
were
would probably
so
have to
loud
find a
by it.
leak.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get a full teaser trailer though. Like, what can we see from this besides concept art? I think we're gonna get images of these cast members in their costumes.
I think they
That's what I'm
they
thinking.
probably have some semblance of indoor footage from like characters primarily. And I'm
That's what I'm
I'm not
thinking.
expecting like a whole lot of like action sequences outside. Maybe that one stunt video of the dude dressed as
Driving the
Batman
motorcycle
down the
Yeah.
park. Yeah,
with
maybe that,
Catwoman. Yeah,
and maybe a couple things regarding the Batmobile since they had those images.
Yep.
But otherwise, I think you're primarily going to get a lot of set up a tone of atmosphere with Bruce Wayne Manor, get the semblance shots of Alfred and everybody.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a quick sizzle, 45 seconds or less. And I think it's going to be like one shot per character that they've shot already.
me too.
And
I
then
wouldn't-
maybe ending in something where it's, you know, any action scene with the Batmobile they've shot. Boom.
I
Boom.
wouldn't put the runtime any higher than 1 minute. I can also see maybe if they do the first thing we ever saw was they had the test footage of the bat suit. Maybe they could have a new reveal of that, just like a more updated thing instead of like all the drenched in red lights, just more like clear view of the suit.
Oh yeah, with that incredible bat logo, right? Because it looks.
Oh,
like
it's so
a bat,
made
right?
out of the gun that killed his
Yes.
Rumor.
But that's comics, but
I bet you asked Matt Reeves that. He's like, "Oh, sure, I guess." I mean, cool. I was like, "It sounds awesome," but I didn't.
You
think about
asked the Endgame writers, like, oh, yeah, we wrote that in. Yep.
that. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Time travel. Yeah. We knew that, like, that was going to line up. And then, like,
yeah.
you remember all those interviews? It was so funny.
Exactly.
I am forever frustrated every time I have to debunk the writers of Endgame for their time travel because it's their own rules that they wrote, but then
Yeah.
what they say contradicts.
And then the Russos come out a day later. It's like, "Oh no, we actually meant this." I'm like, "Who are your writers and directors?" Like, you have no idea what's going on.
It's spoken in the film. I don't understand.
In the film.
It's a real line. Yeah.
But
Anyway.
But anyways, yeah. So I think we're gonna see Edward Nygma because who was that played by? My guy from Prisoners. I'm blanking on it, Carson. You might know.
Yes, I know who. I know exactly. I literally.
Freaking guy. But yeah,
he's in There Will Be Blood, right? Too. He's.
He sure is. Yeah.
God.
But
What's his name?
but yeah, he's gonna be Edward Norton. It's not Edward Norton, but it's not Nygma.
yeah,
Nygma,
Riddler,
like,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nygma, like he's gonna have his like,
Paul Dano.
Paul
Dano.
Paul Dano. Yes, exactly. I think we're gonna see Paul Dano in costume. I forget, like Edward Nygma. He only turns out to have the name Nygma after he becomes Riddler, because Nygma Riddler. But his real name.
Oh, yeah,
is,
it's the E of his first name, Enigma.
Yeah. It's something. But anyways, we're definitely going to see a Catwoman. I think I'm locking it down. We're going to see a Catwoman in her suit because, like Nathan said, all we had was an image of her and Batman, like riding their motorcycles near like Wayne Manor or something.
Did they have her?
There was another Catwoman stunt double there. Like
that was there.
A woman riding her bike, which I mean, it could be Rachel, but.
So yeah, we'll definitely see that. I think you're right. We're going to see a Catwoman, and then we'll see Andy Serkis as Alfred for sure.
You think we'll get any Penguin?
That's what I was just going to bring up. Do we get Colin Farrell as Penguin?
Maybe
I heard he's a small role in the film, so I don't know.
Which I feel like he could be
shot,
like
maybe.
a second act character, where maybe he's like kind of just shows up in the fold, kind of something.
Yeah. I think so too. Like let's preface this for like the listeners. Like this is supposed to be like a long Halloween kind of movie. Like, granted, it's not going to be the long Halloween, obviously.
Yeah.
But inspiration, exactly. It's an inspiration between year one and long Halloween, because I think Matt Reeves said this is like year 2 or 3 in Batman's career. It's not year 1. He's been Batman for like a year now.
Okay.
So like he's not just turning on the suit. This isn't an origin story.
Not Batman Begins.
No, yeah,
Not
we're not going
Batman.
to see his parents die. Thank God.
Batman Continues.
Batman, which I think he's going to explicitly talk about probably at the panel, is kind of like his mindset. I mean, we've heard it from both sides of the spectrum, from him in little tiny bits of detail over, probably the past year or so. And also from the, with the press breaking these casting announcements and the little tiny details of, oh, it was inspired by this and this is what the tone they're going to go for. But I think both Matt Reeves, his words in this panel and what they actually show is going to get us more of an idea of what this movie actually is, because most of it's kind of just made up from our preconceived notions of comics and, Matt Reeves' previous work right now. So we really don't know specifically all the way what this movie is going to be. And I think this is like the perfect time to show what it is. And it's going to be exciting to see.
Totally. Yeah. Like, I'm super hyped for like a not murder mystery, but just like a mystery thriller Batman movie. We don't really have that. Like, I love the Christopher Nolan trilogy, mostly begins in Dark Knight, and like those aren't really mysteries. Like, there's a lot of Batman comics that are mysteries that we just haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I really want to see the. I want to see him be the world's greatest detective, as he
exactly. Yeah.
There were also a couple other talking points regarding the Batman that came out. Like, there was a comment from Robert Pattinson that they're looking to like deeply explore like Bruce Wayne's soul in this film, which I think could be intriguing. And when I hear that makes me think you can get into like some really heavy stuff. I know there was also another comment that was saying they're kind of alluding that there could potentially be the exploration of an R-rating set. Yeah, so that they could like really get deep into this, like the comments from them. It's
never gonna happen.
I don't know. Joker
I'm a good fan.
$1 billion success, so
I don't think it's gonna be R, but
Batman being R-rated
borderline
kill the movie. It would kill it. Hey, Batman is a childhood superhero. People love Batman. Like, you're gonna alienate tons of people just to make it R. Like,
I mean, bring it back to Joker, he was a very silly prankster initially.
True, but it's like it's the Joker, a mentally ill, crazy person who murders people for a living.
But before, the dude just liked dressing like a clown.
True, but it's like Batman. The appeal of Batman doesn't increase if you make it R-rated.
Sure. I'm never like a person.
He's not like Wolverine, where his attacks like come out bloody. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And no, you don't.
But
you don't
imagine like an R-rated, like, an R-rated like 7, like it's like a 7 R-rated like.
Don't use 7
movie.
against me.
Well, I'm going to right now. And tell me that's not appealing if you have a R-rated detective movie. Oh, that's kind of appealing. I don't think it's happening, but I think they're gonna maybe lean into that on the far edges of PG-13, whatever they can get away with.
That's a great argument.
I would put my chips on PG-13 going in for
That's
sure.
A great argument because like mostly 99% of the great murder mystery thrillers, like Seven, Prisoners, those are all R-rated. It's impossible to make those PG-13. I see what you're saying there.
Yeah, I'm of these comments, though, I'm most intrigued about the exploration of Bruce Wayne and his psyche, because like one of the best examples I've seen that like the surface level, it's like delivered very subtly, but like when you think about it, it feels awfully messed up. From Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, the animated film, when he's visiting his parents' grave, and he's filled with guilt because like for the first time in forever he actually feels happy, and he feels guilty for being happy in his life, which is so sad. But it's such a interesting exploration, just like getting the more like depressed, fueled side of Batman instead of just like taken out by punching. Like, no, like what's he doing indoors,
Yeah, I mean that's a perfect Batman movie. I
I'm
think
definitely
it's on
intrigued
Netflix
to see where things go for that.
Yeah,
glitching.
I think so. Great Joker moment, right, too. But am I?
Are you glitching, Nathan? Evan, is he glitching for you, or is that just me?
Just a bit, yeah. No, we're good now. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
You guys have like the slightest lag. Oh, please no. Oh, okay. Everybody like do a fluent motion of movement.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good.
I think we're good. Okay. But yeah, I'm super excited for the Batman. I think it's probably the most excited thing I'm looking forward to for Fandome. We got other stuff in the semblance coming. There, like recently, I think maybe even today, there was dropping the news that looks like they're looking to have was Alexander Skarsgård to be Hawkman in the Black Adam film.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw that article. And also, Black Adam is coming to Fandome. I don't think it's going to be more than a camera test for Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah,
I think it's about due time.
Of all the DC personas that promoted, his was the only one that had like a slight like frame of sneak peek for anything.
Which it was just him in his gray T-shirt, but granted, it's still
with a lot of
cool.
backlight. But
yeah.
I totally forgot about Black Adam. I didn't even put that in my notes here. But I think Alexander Skarsgård would be a great Hawkman. And Hawkman's important because there was recent reports that, and I think Dwayne The Rock Johnson might have confirmed this, but the Justice League or the Justice Society, the JSA, the Justice Society of America is going to be in Black Adam, but it's going to be the one from the past, not the one in the present. Because in the present, we have Justice League, and Black Adam is, of course, an origin story. He is a slave from Egyptian times who, of course, uses the power. Like, there's a teaser for it in the Shazam movie where he used the Shazam powers to exact revenge, and then he kills, of course, the council of whatever.
Yeah.
And and then seal him off. But it'll be interesting to see, like, this whole... Now, that movie I can see kind of rated R, but also I can see a PG-13 as well.
Well, if you're gonna like cross over with the kid-friendly Shazam,
yeah, I know. I'm like, maybe not actually, but
and I feel like The Rock's gonna have enough charm. I'm intrigued for like when those series collide though, because I know they set up the new Shazam team family in the semblance of the layer, but there's one empty chair left. And
there's
some exploration there.
And that's another film that's going to be there, Shazam 2. I mean, I don't think we'll maybe see concept art or something. I think Zachary Levi was in that little teaser video too of just like I'm excited. I can't remember what he said, but I think that's one of the movies that that movie, Aquaman 2, and
Ocean Worldwide.
Like those movies, we're not going to see any like footage from, obviously, because they haven't started filming. But those would be cool to get like kind of like story ideas. I would love to see James Wan talk about Aquaman 2, or David Sandberg talk about Shazam 2. So maybe we'll get like a title or something for Shazam 2.
I mean, it was also like really crazy thinking back to Comic-Con 2016. This was after release BVS, but it was like right before Suicide Squad was coming out. So like they had a sizzle reel for that, but then they also had trailers for both Wonder Woman and Justice League already.
I remember that,
which was so mind-boggling that all that was just there. But
that was a good day, because I remember how that was like, was that the first Suicide Squad thing we ever saw?
No. That was the previous.
Or no, sorry, it was the previous. But this was like, was this the Queen trailer? I can't remember what show.
It might have been. It was like it was a very energetic sizzle for sure.
But oh my god, like you guys, that movie's marketing was like unreasonably good. Like I don't know why, whatever reason, it was like me at the perfect like teenage phase of like, oh my god, comic book movies. But like
4 years ago,
I was so excited for that movie, and then it just let me down. So
it was bad.
I went opening night.
Me too.
My projector malfunctioned after like I think halfway through the intro characters, and then we restarted again. And my dad was so relieved because he really needed to use the bathroom. But it's funny because everybody was like freaking out in the theaters. There was a dude dressed as Jared Leto's Joker, like decked out, no shirt, purple coat, and everything. I got a picture of the dude because I was energetic. I was just like, yeah, it was fun. And then time went by, and I was like, what was it?
But speaking of footage, we're gonna see James Gunn's Suicide Squad, a teaser trailer, probably, right? Where
I think he's been riling up that they're gonna have something to show.
They finished filming, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're wrapped. They've been in post for like 5 months now.
James has been editing in his house, like legitimately. So. And
did you guys see the birthday video that they sent to James Gunn?
Yes.
Because that kind of teased a lot of the cast names that we're going to see in that movie. Like somebody was playing King Shark.
Right, which is going to be crazy.
Idris Elba's playing like he's not playing Deadshot. He's playing the one Black Claw, something.
Wait, he's not playing Deadshot?
No. Totally
I
different-
thought he was just replacing Will Smith.
No.
Is Deadshot in it
What?
at all?
No, he's not.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm fine with that because I like Will Smith.
I forget
I mean-
the name. I'll look it up real quick.
I guess I'm fine. I guess I don't know too much about the actual surrounding characters other than what we got in the movie.
your
But
boy
like,
Jack Courtney's back though. Like,
wait, is he though?
I think so.
Oh my god, that's
As
brilliant.
Boomerang.
That's so funny.
I know.
But
his
They
name was
teased
Bronze
him in
Tiger.
Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
but Deadshot was probably one of the. I mean, the writing wasn't always there, but Deadshot was one of my favorite things about that movie
Mhm.
for sure.
I mean, I'm just happy that Margot is still continuing.
Yes, and that's what. Do you think? And that kind of brings me to the I believe there's one mystery panel that we don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, there's a surprise thing that I think they can announce one or multiple DC
Projects.
Yeah.
And what do you guys? That was like my main thing that I wrote down of like, if they do announce any. I mean, there's a lot of projects already, and there's gonna be tons of stuff. But if they do announce any projects this year, it's gonna be here officially. What do you think they would announce, and what do you want to see announced?
I've always been down for the Gotham City Sirens idea. If that were to get officially greenlit with I don't know who the assemblance of everybody would be, because I know in that sort of frame everybody imagines definitely Margot as Harley, but also Catwoman would be in there too. But I don't know if it would be Zoe Kravitz because it's a kind of separate thing.
And Poison Ivy, right?
Poison Ivy, yeah, which I would love to see.
We've never seen her in the new movies ever since 1990s.
Not since Uma Thurman, that's right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What I hope, of course, is Man of Steel 2. That's a given.
Yeah, I mean that would be,
and that would be huge. I mean that's what I, would think would be like the big mic drop.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the same, because Superman is just like it's a pedestal character. Like I can't imagine.
Not for them.
I can't imagine you have this whole giant event they've been hyping up for months now.
Sure.
And there's no big Superman announcement because it's been so uncertain since 2017. Okay.
They have no idea what to do with Superman, and it's pissing me off.
What do you think is more likely to be announced? If either were to be a possible case, the announcement of Man of Steel 2 or the announcement of Henry, imagining Henry's attached to both, or Henry appearing in Shazam 2.
Oh, Henry in Shazam 2.
Yeah.
I think is
isn't he already? That was like the latest rumor that we heard a few months ago of like, he's not done yet, but like he's just gonna appear in.
He's gonna appear in Shazam 2, Black Adam, or Aquaman.
I think even like during one of the quarantine watch parties, is David F. Sandberg is the director of Shazam?
Mhm.
Yes. Shazam.
Yeah, he like tweeted like a joke video of like, oh yeah, here's Henry in Shazam, but it was like a crazy super long neck. It's just crazy. But he's aware. So
I think it makes the most sense for him to be in Shazam 2, which is going to be like focusing on like going into the monster lands, like all those crazy different monsters in the different realms. I think it's literally called like the Realm of Monsters, or something like that. Something along those lines.
There's a lot of crazy monster designs in the first Shazam.
Yeah, the new 52 Shazam comics are the ones that really get into what we see in Shazam with the whole. I forget the main villain from Shazam, but he's really focused in the new 52 Shazam.
And
comic.
would you set Man of Steel 2 in that continuity?
You have to. Yeah.
You have to,
in
right?
the new era of Shazam Aquaman, I would.
Yeah. I would think they would have to.
They would not do the whole Batman. No, they would not do the whole.
Right, obviously, they're not gonna.
Yeah.
No, I love. I personally love Man of Steel, but yeah, I think you got to get that like brighter, hopeful Superman established.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I also think the other secret movie could be the announcement of the the Green Lantern Corps movie that they've been developing for years now.
I always forget about that.
Do you think any semblance of that would? I know they're kind of set in like a separate thing, but do you think any semblance of that would tie from any of the stuff in Zack Snyder's Justice League? Because I know he has Green Lantern elements lined up.
Sorry, Zach. But yeah, I think in Zach's film, we could talk about this coming up with Justice League Snyder Cut. But in Zach's film, the third act was supposed to be after they defeat Darkseid 2 Justice League members come down to Earth to greet Batman to help them out with the fight against Darkseid. Of course, we would never see that, but I think it wouldn't have. It couldn't be related to. I mean, I don't want to take it back. It could be related to Zack Snyder's Justice League since that is officially.
I don't think that you're going to get your specific Green Lantern in the Justice League, but I think
I agree. But I'm saying like
the establishment of the
establishment, the whole like the
power origins,
the canon, the lore is going to be
guys. The other thing too is HBO has a, if I'm mistaken, they have a Green Lantern series coming. So I'd be curious. If they announced that was like one of the big day one announcements for HBO is like we have this Green Lantern thing coming, and then all of a sudden DC Fandome comes out and they're like, oh, we're doing the movie now. Like I don't know.
I was thinking they're going to do both. I think
which I would be fine with, but I don't.
The one on HBO Max is going to be totally. I think just like the Robert Pattinson Batman, it's going to be its own unique thing. And then the movie's going to have their own, which is also confusing, but I think it could work out.
That's the only thing I'm like, do you want to just like go 2 Green Lantern projects right away? I mean,
we're going to have 3 Batmen here in the near future. We're going to have
You're right.
Ben Affleck,
I forget about Michael Keaton coming back.
Keaton and Robert Pattinson. That's 3
into the Batverse. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Justice League. I mean, I think Green Lantern, Man of Steel 2. Gotham City Sirens is good. I didn't even think of that one. That'd be interesting.
You guys remember the like immense panic when like scoopers were tweeting about Christian Bale around the Batman news?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What did that end up being? Was that a mistake and that was actually for Ragnarok? I can't remember.
Something like that. There was like wires crossed on scoops or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, oh, Christian Bale superhero. But like
no, but I think they were like tweeting that after the Michael Keaton stuff.
Yeah, it was like right after because people were like following up on it or something. And I remember people just tweeting Christian Bale gifs. I'm like, what's going on? And then they're like, oh, actually, no.
Wait, step
But
back.
the other movie I saw in that clip too is Andy Muschietti was like saying he was going to show something. And I'm like, what do you have to show for Flash? Like, it's interesting.
Michael Keaton in his new Batman suit.
That would be
which is weird because it is called The Flash, but I'm gonna show Batman, so I don't know.
Right.
But
I mean, maybe it's both of them. Maybe it's both of them. Yeah, with
you're right. That could be
camera test. Like a Joker style camera test where it's just both of them standing there walking up. That'd be cool.
I wonder if they'll showcase a newly designed Flash suit. Like
I think they have to, right?
Yeah, because I don't hate the existing Flash suit. I like that it's kind of like bungee cord together from just like the immense speed to handle.
Yeah.
But I think you need to progress to a sleeker look. I imagine Barry's going to start with his normal suit that we've been seeing, but then maybe he'll get a semblance of upgrade from Bruce Wayne. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh God, it'd be like the whole Spider-Man
Iron Boy Jr.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want these smart kids like Spider-Man to get his own outfit from other smart people. Like
see, that's the thing. That's the thing with me. I will always argue against the Iron Boy Jr. thing, but if you apply it to Flash in the DC films, I get it because it literally has been that. He's been exactly that. But I'm excited to see where things go from there.
Oh, and like we're supposed to see Victor in the Flash movie. Presumably, that was early in the rumor things. I don't know if that's still the case.
In a perfect world, I would love WB to just like super back Ray as of late, and then just be like, "This secret project, it's the Cyborg film we promised." Like that'd be nice, but we don't live in a perfect world.
Do we need it? But yes. I love Ray. I love you, Ray. If you're watching, I love you, Ray.
Okay. That said, there was a cool
Teen Titans though. Woo.
I would like that setup.
You got Titans. You got 3 seasons. I don't know that show.
Get out of here.
I'm gonna be checking that out at some point. But
but speaking of Flash, though, we need to talk about for a second because that whole Ezra Miller story comes out, right? And then they just played the waiting game of like
they did, yeah.
It's away, and now there's like a 2-minute pre-recorded message from Ezra, and I'm like, and then also Fantastic Beasts is starting to film next week. I'm like,
ugh.
What's going on here? Like
that's
they just.
that's what the media is. Like something big happens, the next day it's forgotten. It's like with anything in the news. It's like something big happened. No, don't forget about it by Monday or something.
And
it's
I'm
crazy.
so confused
and it
about
happens
that
every
whole
time.
situation because it was like,
Dude, there's still people who like comment on anything related to Flash or DC, like, about this event. But what's great, like you see that happen with like a lot of things on Twitter. Normally, like it gets like blown up in the replies, but like every time I've been seeing that, it's only been like 50 likes or less from people, like not much engagement, and then conflicting info to debate it. And it's a lot.
Well, you know, what's the weird thing is they have, you know, because how public and the back and forth between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, two big stars for WB and consequent franchises, and now this Ezra situation, and it's like,
oh yeah, Amber Heard is going to be in Aquaman too. Just get ready.
Oh, no doubt. It's just
again, it's conflicting reports. Nobody really freaking knows what happened, but we have new people coming in every day about the whole situation. It's like nobody can be happy if that's the case, and just keep her in Aquaman too. I don't really care though. It's crazy. It's crazy. What if that's news for James Wan? He's like, we got a new mirror. But I doubt it's going to happen, especially in this day and age. Recasting another woman like that. Oof.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. It's.
But you say that, but also, I mean,
they do that
Zack
for
Snyder,
Zack Snyder's. Yeah.
Not the forefront of the present DC continuity, but Zack's latest film, Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead. He's replacing the Chris. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah,
he's a comedian, and there was all those sexual misconduct allegations and stuff about a couple months ago, and they're just replacing him straight out, and they're just like using
re-editing the movie,
re-editing the entire movie.
Crazy.
Which, speaking of, wasn't that supposed to drop 2020 on Netflix? Or am I crazy? Obviously, I remember.
I forgot this year is 2020. Yeah, I think it is. I was like, is it coming out next year, really? But
maybe it'll get moved 2021 now.
Isn't that it's finished filming? So
they're done.
Come out November or December. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah.
Okay, well, so I think to a closing point of discussion for fandom, I definitely want to discuss Zack Snyder's Justice League.
You have to,
infamous for years and years, everybody tweeting at AT&T because they're the owners of everything.
It's still so funny.
Okay, I know. It's funny. I'm really intrigued because there's so much info. Like with how much it gets tweeted out of info, like specifically coming from Zack himself, it's so insane to think that this film.
There's more. Not
only that there's more. This film is going to look so vastly different than the hodgepodge that we got in 2017.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's been almost 3 years, and it's going to be like 3.5 by the time it drops.
Yeah,
but I'm super hyped because they're going to be showcasing so much. They're going to have like more semblance of Green Lantern stuff. They've confirmed a Martian Manhunter will be in it, and it's the general guy from Man of Steel.
Yep.
Interesting.
Black suit.
How much he's going to be in it, though, I'm kind of skeptical about. Like,
I imagine probably.
I don't think we see full suit Martian Manhunter. I think we get like, oh yeah, guys, he's Martian Manhunter, but I don't think we see him in the full alien Martian Manhunter thing.
I think you might get him human form eluding.
We should place a bet.
But we should actually like discuss what we think we'll see in this trailer debut they're gonna have. Even though we're like a little under a year out from it, I imagine they're gonna have a big. I mean, they had like a whole like a semblance of. He dropped a whole clip of just Wonder Woman looking into something, and then there was a full, complete.
So awesome! I love that. She was looking at the whole the Dark Side mural where it says like his real name in Greek.
Yeah, weren't all the mother boxes on there too, or something? I can't remember if it was.
I don't think so.
Or maybe that was a different thing I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest upgrades we're going to see is and he's already revealed the new design of Steppenwolf, who looks vastly superior. He looks like he does in the projection from the Man of Steel ship in BBS, but now he's like fully realized with texture, and it's insane. They just scrapped the original model completely. It's so different.
I hope they go deep into Steppenwolf and more of his character, like his relationship with his mother, because in the movie he's like, I will save you, mother. And it's like, is he referring to the mother? Why is he calling the mother boxes mother? But his actual mother is in those mother boxes, but it's just the whole plot line is scrapped because Joss Whedon didn't want to go into it. But like, that's the whole thing. Like, he's related to Darkseid. He wants to appease, like, isn't Darkseid like his brother or his cousin or something like that?
Nephew thing? Maybe?
Nephew. Yeah. He's the uncle to Darkseid, I think. Right. He wants to like kind of like usurp him or something like that. It's like there's some like Darkseid, Steppenwolf Civil War going on behind the scene that they never really get into. That's why he's so frightened at the end of the movie, where
it's like Ronan Thanos.
Exactly, we were supposed to see Darkseid at the end of the movie, so I can't wait. And the whole Mother Box Wonder Woman scene, not Wonder Woman, but the what's it called? Like when Steppenwolf is taking all the Mother Boxes from Wonder Woman, like the Mascara world. Like that was supposed to be Darkseid. So I think in the actual movie we're going to see Darkseid doing those same actions.
Yeah,
except more cooler. Obviously.
I think we're going to see more Atlantis stuff too, because I remember there was like, there's a bunch of William Dafoe, right? Is like, he's in it.
He shot stuff for it, I think. So
yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff, and this movie is going to be long, so they got plenty of stuff.
I think they said it was going to be like at least 3.5 hours.
I heard more. I heard like 4 to 5.
Oh my gosh.
I'm down, but I think we're definitely going to see the scenes of Iris West.
That's the other big thing. It's like I remember seeing those unfinished scenes of like her like going through the glass or something. I can't remember. Yeah. It's like when Barry's going through the glass. It's like that same shot, but it's a continuation of like.
I'm just thinking back on like all of the like old Justice League trailers with missing shots.
Yeah,
I know there was like a whole scene where like Barry pushes his finger through glass and just like.
Yeah, no, like she's about to get hit by a car or something. I remember like seeing because then the VFX house leaked the thing, and then like you just see a crude rendering of like Barry just running and like scooping her up under the road.
Yeah, it's very funny.
And the cyborg stuff too. That's
like where like at night he's like shooting up to the sky and he's got like a face mask and everything.
In the high school stuff in general, that whole relationship.
I think yesterday or today, they Ray Fisher shared from Zach the semblance of the football stuff for Ray when he's just human.
I think that was yesterday. Yeah, super pumped for that. I think we get a lot of Ray, a lot of the what's it called, Ben Affleck dynamic with Henry Cavill towards the end of the movie that we just didn't. It was kind of like short and not put together, and a lot of the Superman scenes where he goes back with his black suit.
Which he's already
kind of teased. Released it. Yeah.
Which was weird because I thought I saw that in the Justice League bonus features, but maybe it wasn't finished or something. But like, it was that scene basically. But yeah, there's like a whole. I know there was also a deleted scene where he returns to his ship. So it'll be interesting. I'm so intrigued to see where things are going to go in this whole different landscape and color grading, frankly.
Color grading.
Because it was all like nightly blue, and then they were like, let's make it red skies. Why?
It makes no sense. Yeah. And I hope they really adjust like the final battle between him and Steppenwolf. That was very horrible CGI, and it was very fast. Like it's kind of inevitable that Superman has to help them defeat Steppenwolf in the end, but I wonder if Zach's going to make it more enjoyable. I don't know how that's possible. I really hope they can make it work.
Probably we won't cut away to that one family.
Oh, God.
That was all Whedon, dude. They're not.
That was all Whedon. Yeah, it's so funny.
He literally just I think he just redid the Age of Ultron Sokovia.
Yeah, but I feel like I've seen this before. Oh yeah, we did in Age of Ultron. It was like
2 years ago.
Stupid.
Oh my God.
It's so crazy.
We have Trey in the comments here too. Hey Trey.
Yeah. Oh hey, what's up, man?
Oh, what's up, Trey?
Bunch
of nerds, yes, sir.
Absolutely. I think they're gonna do a better job with the action sequences. I think Zack Snyder's really good at action.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, like wherever like anybody stands on the even like the appearance of Doomsday and BVS, I really liked the action sequences of all that going around, the zoom pans and everything. It's really good. I think they'll do good stuff for the final battle, and I think you'll get the semblance of the team like really working in unison. I was like most happy when I was watching Justice League originally that they actually like established Superman's like one of his main powers of the ice breath, which you didn't see in the other films.
Yeah.
So, and I think it won't be so like forced. Like I feel like it very much felt like in the original Justice League, which I've only ever seen once, so this may be like a bad retelling of it. But I remember that like Superman just kind of shows up out of nowhere, like
No, yeah, dude, I've seen it so rarely, but it's imprinted in my brain. Yeah, you like Steppenwolf said something about truth, and then Superman.
It's like this 5-second pause, and you just know it's coming, and all of a sudden, like,
yeah, no, he's like, I'm one for truth, but I'm also a big fan of justice.
Oh
no.
It's so bad.
With like the most subtle movement punch, just like this.
Yeah,
he's just flew.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, more Trey.
Yeah, agreed, Trey. I'm excited. It's just like, what is it? Like, it's gonna be so different, and nothing like this has happened before. Like, nothing has ever, no studio has ever agreed to go back and be like, all right, cool, we'll take the L here. I mean, it's kind of like admitting to their own failure essentially, and saying, hey, let's go back and fix it.
Yeah, because when normally stuff like this goes, normally it's just like the resemblance of deleted stuff already shot and already like planned out that didn't make original cuts. That's why you have director's cuts. But now this is just brand new, like almost from scratch, which is insane. Because the amount of cleanup, it's so crazy. Like the progression that I went through, where they were like, we have to keep it under 2 hours, get the most theater auditoriums, and then that way backfired.
Way
backfired. Yeah. I wonder what the opening scene is going to be now, because I remember hearing that opening scene of like,
what is the opening scene?
Remember Ben's fighting the parademon or whatever?
Oh no!
Yeah, that Whedon shot that.
God,
and it looks so bad because remember the shots that Zach shared originally of like him standing up on the thing and like looking down, and you had like that amazing silhouette, and then they try to replicate that in the reshoots, and it just looks like a pale like night sky, and it looks really just contrived. I'm so curious if there's even a
video game.
Yeah, no, it looked bad, but I don't know what they're gonna open with now, because obviously he's probably gonna try to. Oh, and you know what? It also was in the. Remember, it was like I remember the song was playing, and it was like a newspaper fell, and they were just trying to like kind of retell like what happened in BVS. I think it was. I
think it might have been a Superman memorial.
Yeah, something like that. But I'll be curious how he opens it, because I imagine it'll be much different and probably not as light as whatever we got.
Not as super funny. I don't think I'd like the Daily Planet stuff. I think
the whole Daily Planet thing is so like Zack Snyder really put himself in his corner there. Like, you kill Superman and Batman vs Superman, and then at the end of Justice League, is Clark Kent supposed to come back? Like, we saw you die. Like,
no, that's in BVS too. Like
you died.
They have like the headline of Superman's death, but then like you go over and there's like this tiny panel where it's like one of our own lost.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, Clark Kent would be like, oh, I dodged a bullet there, guys.
Like, I'm back.
Like, what the heck?
No way.
Like, that has to change, like, in this new edit, right? Like, you can't just come back to Daily Planet. Like,
gotta keep him on the farm, man.
Yeah, you probably have to. It's so comical.
Like, how do they bring him back to life again? They put him in like the ship or whatever, and then it like
they scooped up his body, which is really weird.
They dropped the mother box into the water, and like at like the exact
Flash comes in, yeah,
which is a cool concept, but
that's probably gonna be changed too.
Sure, I can imagine.
The whole thing where it's like, tell me, do you bleed? But it's like reverse.
Dude, please give me an updated fight. Like, make it at nighttime, like the movie was, because they super like upscaled brightness, because it was all nighttime, and then they changed it to like dusk or dawn, and it's just not about.
Yeah, no, it's bad, but overall, I'm excited to see a polished version of this.
Oh yeah, and I think when an official announcement, Zack Snyder said it himself, because a fan asked him, "Is this going to be a miniseries or going to be a full film?" He said, "You'll have to wait for the weekend." So I think he'll have an official announcement on that. So I think it's going to be a miniseries, given it's like 3 to 4 hours long.
Yeah, I imagine. Can you imagine everybody's just like logging on to their HBO Max, like, "Oh, I'm so ready," and then it's like 45 minutes. What are you talking about?
I'd be down for. I think they did this with Hateful Eight. They just split it up into 4 episodes. Cool with me. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
I'm down. I think it makes it more digestible and like.
Oh, Trey just asked us a question.
Yes, he did. JJ Abrams. No, I don't know.
I used to think JJ, but Man, I'm sorry. Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, give me a break from JJ.
Star Trek 2009. Where you at?
I used to think Christopher McQuarrie, but I don't think he's good. He's kind of been ambivalent on it on social media of like, didn't he have a pitch or something, and then they weren't really interested.
For some reason, studios didn't trust Christopher McQuarrie
at the time
Rogue Nation. They just Hollywood just didn't like him, which is crazy for me. But I have no idea. Like, I think the easy one is who did First Class? Matthew Vaughn. I love Matthew Vaughn.
He's good. He did First Class. He did Kingsman and
the one this year was great. The Gentleman. I like The Gentleman a lot. That's a very fun movie.
Oh yeah, that was Guy Ritchie, wasn't it?
Oh, it's Guy Ritchie. Whoops.
Yeah, it's Guy Ritchie. Yeah. See, you do confuse him because you're
confuse him all the time.
You're like Kingsman is Matthew Vaughn, and then you're like, wait.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was
confusing. But you know what?
Is Sherlock Holmes and Aladdin.
If he came back to superhero movies, I would be here for it because there's still nothing like First Class. Like First Class is a great movie.
Right?
The what?
He's doing King's Man, right?
Yes. Yeah. And then but he hasn't decided if he's going to do the third.
Why wouldn't you? You did one
in the trilogy for. Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't, but anyways, First Class is still just a top tier superhero movie for me. I love the third act is phenomenal. The whole scene where, he's in the ship, trying to like talk to the guy, and Charles is like trying to get into his brain, and he's like shutting him out, and like, that whole sequence is
masterclass.
Masterclass.
He's connected to the dude he's killing, so he like feels the quarter.
Right? Yeah, he feels. And then right after they're out there, and then he gets hit by the bullet. Man, I'm just like,
it's also. I love the scene when he has to tap into his Magneto has to tap into his emotions to turn the radar dish.
Yes.
So good.
Fantastic. And then we got Bryan Singer coming back. Oof.
Okay, but who else?
He did Returns. We don't.
Is there a director that hasn't done a superhero movie or a big movie that you guys would see that you would pluck up and be like, hey, I think their vision would be like pretty cool for them to take a swing at a big movie?
I have one guy. Ari Aster. No.
Gareth Edwards.
I hate you.
The best horror director of all time. What the heck?
Damien Chazelle. Let's go.
Damien Chazelle. That'd be funny. Superman playing a trumpet or something.
No.
Denis for everything, honestly. But
no, dude, it's super.
You can do it.
Worked with Amy Adams. That works.
Oh man, yeah. Maybe Amy Adams will actually get an Oscar nomination this time.
Lois Lane, game changer. God, who to direct? Man of Steel 2. It's Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi's great. Matthew Vaughn's my pick, but yeah, there's a couple of directors that could do it. I think there's a lot of interesting people out there.
Yeah, you're definitely hooking me with the Matthew Vaughn idea.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. James Gray's.
Wow.
Man of Steel 2, and I know Trey will love that.
I like that.
I think that would be an absolute kind of sleeper pick, and it would come out of nowhere, and people would be like, okay, I can kind of get on board, and it wouldn't be like controversial because everyone would be like, oh, okay, he made Lost City of Z, and
Lost City of Z is freaking fantastic.
It's so good.
I watched it a week before I saw the Brad Pitt one.
Yeah,
and it's so good at Astra, and it's so freaking good. I was like, dang, this is an epic.
I keep randomly just thinking about all these directors I'm just primarily kind of focused on, and I just had the horrifying thought of the Safdie brothers directing Man of Steel 2. That is terrifying.
Can you imagine?
There's no hope.
I wanted to say, I was thinking about all the directors doing DC projects, and one project that we didn't bring up is New Gods, and I don't know if they're on the ballot for DC Fandome. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If they didn't have Ava.
Is Ava
gonna be there? I don't know.
I didn't see her in the teaser trailer.
Yeah, I didn't either.
They had the Ann Moore, so I guess anything's possible. How do you not put Ava on the set list?
I know, right? Especially, man. And Ava's so good.
Very vocal. All throughout so many projects, which is so great.
Yeah, how do you have Ava but then you have James Wan? And
I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I would love if that was a surprise. She just shows up for a little segment.
I just like remember that he had a cameo in
That could be the secret movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd pick him for Man of Steel too, but I would like to see what Lee Winnell could do in the DC universe after his Invisible Man success.
Yeah, and then he's working with Ryan Gosling doing Wolfman, which is gonna be
Wolfman.
awesome.
That's-
that movie.
Dude, that I
Wow.
love Invisible Man. I'm gonna love Wolfman, dude. Especially with Ryan in it. Jeez.
Wasn't there a old Wolfman movie from the 90s with my boy, what's it called? The guy from Westworld. I forget his name.
Yes. What is his name? I know exactly.
Oh,
what you're talking
Anthony
about.
Hopkins. Like,
Yes,
that
there was.
2010.
Didn't Patrick Williams did have mentioned it on? Remember when he did the
Yeah.
Universal Monsters episode?
I was watching that video. I'm like, I did see that movie.
I need to
That
watch
movie's
that.
awful.
He has this video like that. I need to watch that.
Yeah.
No, but
It's a
yeah, I
good
think it
video.
was 2010 with Benicio del Toro and
I didn't see that one.
Anthony Hopkins
Yeah.
and Emily Blunt, I think.
Oh wait, that's the one. Is it 2010?
Yeah, I
thought it
think
was
so.
90s. I saw one
I
of the
can't
Wolfman
remember.
movie. Yeah.
1930s, Lon Chaney Jr.
But yeah, I'm super excited for DC Fandome. It's going to be a busy weekend. It's on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
and then,
Saturday.
And then 3 Saturdays after.
Yeah, and then 3
Yeah, but
Saturdays
that's
for
like CW stuff. We don't need
boring stuff. Yeah.
boring.
Flash, right? Is he going back in time again? To
I
save his
found,
mom?
I found it odd though, just like think because they have the new season of Lucifer is debuting this Friday, but then Fandom was on Saturday and they had a panel. And I was like, what's gonna happen there? I know they have the final season coming, but like that's like a rapid turnaround.
But still, yeah, that's
So
The final season of Lucifer is Friday?
no, it's the second to last season. It was gonna be the final season, but they got rid
now
of
it's like a two-part final season. or
it's
something?
a two-part season this season, and then they're gonna
Oh, and then they have an additional season. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I'm looking at my notes here for DC Fandome. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, one real quick, Wonder Woman 1984. They're showing the full trailer
yeah.
for that.
the whole new look.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get our first official look at Cheetah.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. That's got to be the last shot, or at
I
least
gotta
maybe
see
even
that.
scene in the trailer.
That update would be fun.
Because it looks pretty tragic. 'Cause I think like in the movie, the whole thing is like you could have everything you've always wanted. I forget the guy who did that.
Pedro
Pascal. Yeah, and I think like she falls for that. She's like I want to be a superhero like Wonder Woman, and it's like the monkey's paw thing, where it's like I'll give you what you want, but you're also going
Right.
to turn into a full cat, which is kind of like a give and take kind of thing, and which also leads into how we see Chris Pine too, because I'll give you what you always wanted. She wanted Chris Pine back. She'll get him, but maybe there's a curse that goes along with that.
That yeah, I didn't even like consider that.
Remember, it's like that orb thing in the trailer. Like he's like
Yeah,
controlling
like
something.
I'm so excited for this movie.
Or like a rock. I forget what it is.
Like some,
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Oh, I'm so hyped! I can't wait for that. Yeah, that I guess that about wraps up the fandom stuff.
Mhm.
I'm doing once again the same thing with Comic-Con with all my friends. We're doing the same thing here for fandom this weekend. Or
Nice.
both weekends
Sweet.
now.
Reactor Dome.
Yeah,
Is that what you guys call it?
yes.
Nice.
I'm super excited. Like I literally woke up this morning to the 2-part news and I was like, should we split the 2 parts? And they're like, I guess so. This is odd, like, but you know, more days for fun. So it's gonna be a blast for sure. That about wraps up fandom. I want to go ahead and jump over to the trailers that dropped within the last week, and I think it dropped like the day after we recorded the last episode. But the trailer came out for The Devil All the Time. That was
Yes.
quite the
Which is so interesting because I always forget about Netflix has all these movies because I hear about them in like a year before and then they don't drop anything, nothing until
2
3
weeks.
weeks before they come out. And I'm like, how can we just be hearing about this cast? Like, it's honestly like maybe the first or second time I've heard about this movie in general. And then all of a sudden this trailer comes out. I'm like, where does this come from? But overall, great trailer. I'm intrigued with this whole kind of like, it kind of looks like kind of a slow burn kind of drama thriller, which really intrigues me. I love those kind of movies where we kind of get to see our characters go, kind of let our characters simmer and go crazy a little bit. And certainly we get a tease of that. And of course, Robert Pattinson got the line of the trailer.
I just like licking his fingers in one shot too. I'm like, oh, this guy is demented. I heard
would
I heard in the book he's super creepy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's based off a book.
It's based
And
off
who's
a book,
directing this again?
Not Charlie Kaufman. That's the other one. Antonio Campos, I think.
Is this his first feature?
I think he did one or two movies before this.
Got the Gareth treatment.
Yeah. But yeah, this trailer might be my favorite trailer of the year. It's so good. It's excellent.
I love the start of it with just Tom's character having a birthday, and
he's just looking down the entire time.
Yeah, dude, he's just smoking. It's so weird seeing Tom Holland smoke. It's a weird seeing Tom Holland be adult. But
yeah, I know. But I think in that sense, I think he is supposed to be like his real age, like 24 or something like that. But he has to be like the man of the family. I think there's a lot of craziness. His father dies, but there's a lot of craziness that surrounded it. I think his father kind of went crazy. They have to move in with their aunt and uncle, and then they go to this new town with the crazy preacher who's doing some weird things, and he's like, I don't trust this guy. This guy is crazy. And then that's when.
Is there anything bleaker than sitting down for your birthday cake and there's no frosting on it?
Oh,
it's just a pan cake with one candle, and he gets a gun, and just like, this is somber time.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. And I love just seeing Tom Holland outside of a franchise, just like doing his own thing. And we're gonna get this, and then hopefully we'll get the Russo brothers Cherry, which is supposedly his performance in that is excellent. So that comes out hopefully this year.
Is that set for Netflix, or is it?
I think it might be Netflix, or it could be wide release. Not sure.
I don't know.
Actually, I think it is wide release.
But let's talk about that. Did we talk about the I'm Thinking of Ending Things trailer last time?
Ooh, the Charlie Kaufman movie.
Because that trailer, wow,
also really good.
Probably is my favorite trailer of the year. That blew me away.
That's the one. How is it? It's excellent. It's another psychological thriller.
Psychological time bending kind of thing. Which
time?
Yes.
Yeah. Who's the cast in that one again?
The cast is Jesse Buckley, Jesse Plemons, Toni Collette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And David Thewlis.
Yeah.
Man.
David Thewlis was
Harry Potter.
Yes, he was in Harry Potter.
But fun fact, I have not seen any of Charlie Kaufman's movies, and it's an absolute crime.
Me neither. Oh man, we're doing so good for a movie podcast.
But I picked some up this week actually, and I'm gonna watch
from the library.
What has he been?
He's only directed 2 other movies, but he's directed.
He's known for.
How do I pronounce this? Synecdoche, New York, and I don't know how to pronounce that. And then Anomalisa. Huh. But he's written Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and
I need to see it.
Being John Malkovich, and
never seen that
what other movies? Adaptation.
He's known for being a writer. That's why people know his name. He's like one of the big names in Hollywood in terms of writers. And yeah, that one also looks really, really good. Like it seems very dark, twisted, demented.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I love seeing Jesse Plemons. Jesse Plemons is got to be one of like the best like supporting actors working. That dude is in everything.
Easily.
His comedic timing in Game Night is like in the whole scene where they get home from the store and they have 3 bags of chips, and he's like 3 for 1. You got to think Frito-Lay be losing money at that point.
Jason Bateman's like dynamic with him in that scene is too good. He's like, well, there's a sale and
yeah, but then completely flip that and go to El Camino, and he's just like, oh my god, you absolutely hate him in El Camino. You just want to punch him in the face. I've never hated it. Like I hate his character in El Camino so much.
Wait, which one was he?
Frustrates me.
It's the same from Breaking Bad. He's the same guy. He was like the guy that killed the kid in Breaking Bad.
Oh, that's right.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah, we've all seen it.
Spoiler for this series.
Yeah, that was dark. Yeah, he's such a great character, though. Actor.
So,
but Netflix is gonna have. That's the next thing on like awards up the wazoo this year. Like they're gonna have a lot.
Specifically October. October, you have the movie Rebecca coming out with Armie Hammer and Lily James. And then you have, like we talked about, Devil All the Time is September, but the Charlie Kaufman one is October.
Same with September. Oh, it's October. I think it's end.
Charlie,
I thought it was mid-September.
You're right, September 4th.
I feel like it. Yeah, it's like, or maybe is it the same? When's Devil of All Time? Is it
Devil All the Time?
It's mid-September. I think it's in
September 15th.
Okay.
September 16th. Yeah. So yeah, September and October. You also have Mank and the Trial of the October 7.
An Aaron Sorkin movie and a Fincher movie, like
in the same month.
Holy crap!
And on top of that, they already have The Five Blood, which is like a guaranteed Best Picture nominee. So
yeah,
gotta
that's
get the
a lock.
Best Actor nom, dude.
Oh yeah, for Delroy has to.
But also, you have the guy playing Mank. What's his name? Freaking the guy who played the guy who also won for the World War II movie.
I know who you're talking about. No, Darkest Hour.
Right.
Literally, what's his name? He's one of the most famous actors of all time.
We're going so bad with the name. Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
We're so bad. Cancel the podcast. But yeah, Gary Oldman playing Mank right now. In terms of Oscar predictions, he's like the second lead pick behind Delroy Lindo. That's only because we've seen Delroy Lindo already, but you can't doubt Gary Oldman.
Man already won recently. You can...
I agree. I think that can come into the play too. But yeah, so Netflix is going to kill the game, which is crazy because this is like the only weird time where Netflix is able to do that because of the pandemic.
Yep.
Has Pattinson ever been nominated for an Oscar?
Nope.
You think he'll get supporting actor for Devil All the Time?
Too packed, I think.
Possibly, but those psychological thrillers are so hard to get into Oscars for them.
Like, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like I don't know why. Like it seems like such a
Prisoners. They both should have been nominated for Prisoners, but they weren't.
Yeah,
Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman, but they weren't. Even in Seven, I don't think people were nominated in Seven.
No.
But yeah.
But yeah, in regards to trailers, I super loved the Devil All the Time trailer. I mean, it got real creepy by the end when dude in church is pouring spiders on his face. Like,
thanks for reminding. Yeah.
Well, but yeah, no, I'm super intrigued. It looks like Tom Holland's actually going to be going down a dark path, and I like seeing him like explore these roles. I know he's going to be like a lot different from like the Spidey character we know, like come this and Cherry
and Nathan Drake.
And Chaos Walking, which you guys all forgot of. It comes out in January.
I feel bad for him and Daisy. Like they filmed that.
You know what?
3 years
How
ago.
bad can this movie be? If they did reshoots and it's Doug Liman, this movie is also written by Charlie Kaufman. Fun fact, or co-written by.
Wow, I didn't know.
Or
that.
he did a draft. Yes, he did a draft on it. I'm like, how bad can this movie be?
It won't.
There's no how can it be that bad? How is it a January movie? It boggles me.
I don't. I mean, sometimes you get an outlier where it's a good January.
Glass was January. Split was January.
You're right. I say that, yet we've seen constantly year after year of like every month, just like, hey, we're gonna do it here. Like, remember we always talk about the infamous March of Power Rangers, Kong, Ghost in the Shell, Logan, all in the same month. Like,
honestly, January could be a good backup plan if you have a confident picture.
Mm-hmm.
But, it'll be interesting. But to further with trailers, today there was a new trailer for first trailer for Death on the Nile, which I'm super hyped about because I really enjoyed Murder on the Orient Express. Hold on.
Okay, continue.
I got the story. All right. So yeah, I mean, I love the aesthetic of Murder on the Orient Express, and I think it's
beautiful.
I think it's back here in Death on the Nile, like that first opening shot with the pyramid sunset is just gorgeous. It's fun to see this change up in climate from the snowy train tracks to the Nile. Yeah, man, it looks good. There's another star-studded cast, a lot of people that jump off top of my head. And I didn't realize Armie Hammer was in it. Obviously,
Gal Gadot.
Letitia Wright.
Wright. Who else? There was one other that was like, oh wow, I forgot.
Russell Brand.
I was like, he's still doing movies,
right? I was like, I think he's kind of a jerk.
Is he still going out with Katy Perry? Is that a thing?
No, everybody's like pissed at him because he divorced her through a text right before he had to perform a concert,
Wow.
Dude's
Yeah.
an a-hole for that. Like,
I didn't know that. Jeez.
no good. Hope he dies.
Oh,
Wow. Jesus
there's an-
Christ, Nathan. Oh my God.
In character.
We're gonna get
So
flagged.
this is definitely.
We're deep. We're an hour into a live stream. No one's
I forgot that there's an original Death on the Nile because I've seen the original Murder on the Orient Express, but I forgot there's a 1978 Death on the Nile.
Oh, whoa. I did not know that. I didn't see
I
either.
didn't know
So-
that until I was like looking it up for like resource pictures today for my video.
Ooh.
Oh, Annette Benning's in this.
Annette Bening.
Yeah.
Who else do I recognize here?
Emma McKay.
Rose Leslie from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I don't know.
You know what this I haven't seen the 2017 one, but this trailer
It's not good.
Yes, it is.
is not good. You
It
don't
is
like this
good.
trailer?
The ending is I don't want to say it. I don't want to get rid of spoilers, but it's like it's not a good resolution. I'll just say that. To the
Okay.
crime, Nathan, you gotta admit, it's not a good resolution, right? I haven't seen the original one, so I don't know if it's the same thing in the original one, but
Oh, you don't like the answer?
the answer. I don't like the answer
Oh, okay. Well,
of the crime.
I like it.
Anyways, you know what this makes me think of? Is this is like the Knives Out universe before the Knives Out universe. And I am so excited.
You're right.
for-
Honestly, if they wanted to
I'm
tie
s-
it in, I'd be
Oh
fine.
my god. For the next trailer for Knives Out 2, it is gonna be so cool to just like see the total hero shot of Daniel Craig just show up, and it's just gonna be like, you know how Kenneth Branagh gets his mustache shot.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be like
Perfect mustache.
Daniel Craig just like flipping a coin again or something. It's
Ah.
just gonna, I'm
No.
so ready. So if that's any indication of where my mind is, I love these mystery movies. I hope this one is good. I need to see the 2017 one.
I really hope you do. I want to see.
So I'll see my reaction. But
Yeah.
if this
my
movie is
login,
at least good, I'll be happy.
I have it, man. Use my login.
Is Kenneth Branagh directing these movies?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
dude. I'm so like fascinated when I go back at the cast of Murder on the Orient Express because there's so many people who are like I've gotten to know now since like Olivia Colman, who I wasn't really fully aware of until I saw The Favorite. Like it's so weird looking back. Like Leslie Odom Jr., Aaron Burr from Hamilton, is
Josh Gad's in it too, and Judy
Josh
Judy
Gad,
Dench in it.
Daisy Ridley, and
Who's Daisy Ridley again?
right. But yeah, I mean, also Willem Dafoe and Johnny Depp,
Yeah. Wow.
Michelle Pfeiffer
Yeah.
and Kenneth Branagh. Everybody, man.
Stacked. Beyond stacked.
I think it's probably a more famous cast than the one we are currently going into. but
Totally.
Yeah.
I think both are like a great time, and I'm excited to see this new like layout. I love trains. I like the layout of right. you know. But I love the layout that they.
They're on a boat this time, though, right?
What's that?
Are they on a boat?
Yeah,
this
they're on a
time?
boat.
Yeah, I love the first film's setting of just like the cold atmosphere and just like the different train carts, but now like being on like essentially like a giant old timey cruise ship in this essence, a big steamboat. I think that's I think it gives you a lot more creativity in terms of investigation of different areas and murder and suspense.
Yeah. Looking at the cast, I think Gal Gadot did it.
Really?
I have no.
I don't
idea.
know.
I have no idea. I don't know who dies in the movie. Is it who died? Was it Armie Hammer or?
I don't think they.
No, they didn't. It didn't say.
Okay, I thought it was the main character that died. Okay.
Yeah, we just saw like sizzle shots of like them like.
It's
some-
not Letitia Wright.
Thinking back to Murder on the Orient Express, they don't say who died in that one either, in the trailers.
Yeah, you're right.
They just like present like everybody available, like who did it? Which one of them?
Who done it?
And the answer was a cop out. But,
Evan's so mad. That's
I'm
just
pissed.
that's
I
story.
watched out of that movie so mad. Like I was like, really? Okay, cool, I guess. But also, like I'm hoping this one's better. Like I like the cast. I like Letitia Wright. I hope she didn't do it.
Surprise.
I hope she did. I like a good villain too. So yeah. I mean, I haven't been super high on Kenneth Branagh recently. I think Cinderella from 2015 is excellent in front of his
still haven't seen
directing. It's so good.
With Lily James, right?
I love
Yeah, I
it.
still haven't seen it either.
It's on Disney Plus, I think, right? Maybe.
It should be.
Yeah, it's
It
on
should
Disney
be.
Plus.
Yeah. You guys should watch it tonight.
Okay. Or I can watch a
Yeah.
Charlie Kaufman movie. We'll see.
That too. Watch Eternal Sunshine.
All right, maybe.
Both of you.
But
You'll cry though, so get ready.
the other trailer I wanted to quickly mention was the Sofia Coppola trailer that came out today for it's hold on.
I didn't watch it because it's for Apple TV.
Yeah,
And
but
I don't
it's
have Apple TV.
I have ads for Apple TV.
Me too. I'm like, give me an Apple product and I'll watch it.
Right?
That's the bar.
Okay, but it's the girl from Parks and Rec. It's Anne from Parks and Rec, and
Rashida Jones.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
And Bill Murray, right?
And Bill Murray. And it's like her. Okay, so basically the premise is that like, her dad comes to visit or something, and he's totally sold on that the husband is cheating on her, so he's like trying to investigate, and she's like, well, maybe it's just a coincidence that he's doing all these things, and it's like they're kind of the father-daughter back and forth of like, Dad, this is my life. You can't just like go like messing up trying to like see like what's there and what's not, and like.
But then he's right.
But that probably he's right, and it's just like Bill Murray gets to be kind of like funny and just kind of out there, and
so it's a comedy.
Yeah, it's more so a comedy.
Oh, I thought it was a drama.
Yeah, I think it's it's like a dramedy.
Dramedy.
But yeah, I love Sofia Coppola movies, so I mean, it sucks that it's on Apple TV. It's like I hate when stuff comes exclusive to Apple TV because it's still that one streaming service that just like hasn't convinced me whatsoever. Like,
and it's so hard to watch. I mean, granted, just buy an iPhone or just buy an iPad, but I'm just like, it's so hard to access. Unlike like HBO Max or Disney Plus or something like that, which everybody can buy.
Is it really the only way you can access Apple TV is through Apple products?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I tried using it on my Samsung Galaxy. I'm like, I can't. Even if I buy the Apple app thing, it's weird. It's confusing.
Can you get external TV? I think isn't that like an external?
Well, if you have an Apple TV, which is big with Apple people, is it's like $100 if you're.
I know Apple's big, but like I feel like you lose like half the world.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, but
insert.
Also, they can make money on how many people they have, which is a crap ton.
Yeah.
Insert Jack Sparrow gif here, but.
Yeah, I think that's the only other trailer that I could think of. I'm trying to think if there's anything. But the one thing we should mention is the Dune trailer is rated, ready to go. It's coming out soon, next week, hopefully. Oh my God.
Guys, this is going to be the biggest trailer of the year, right? This is Star Wars level.
Yeah, this is I have chills thinking about it.
Watch me randomly have Dune in front of Inception. Like, what?
I would hate you if you get
the Carson.
You're like, is that Jakku? Like, what's going on?
Right. Finn?
I'm unbelievably like I can't even process that first Blade Runner teaser for Denis Villeneuve. I'm like getting chills, and I wasn't even a huge Blade Runner fan at the time. Like,
give me some nostalgia piano. I'm hoping for little piano riff, and then we slowly ramp up, and then we start to see like the full scope of Arrakis, and just like all of like
and we got to see the sandworms, right?
We have to see.
That'd probably be like the closing shot.
Denis, don't miss.
And I'm currently listening to the audiobook, so it's like that much hype because I haven't heard the story, like I haven't read the book before, and I'm like, listening to it now, which is interesting to get, imagine in my head like who's cast as who, and like imagine in their appearance.
I tend to wait until if I don't read often, but if I ever decide to, I normally decide to read the novelization after the film because
I'm the same way.
In like two aspects. One is like I don't want to be spoiled. The other is everybody says the book's always better anyway. So why don't I say best for last?
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I was going to do the same thing for Ready Player One. I haven't read the book yet for that one, but I will.
See, I usually do the same thing, but at the same time, it's Denis Villeneuve, so I'm like, guys, it's gonna be good. Like, there's no way this movie is not at least decent.
I'm pretty sure I only get half the book right now, but.
Like, I did read the short story for Arrival. I forget what it's called right now. But it's an excellent short story.
Part of me wants to watch the OG Dune film, but...
Which I have not seen that either. Yeah.
I do not want to watch it.
I think I'll watch it after...
Me too. Afterwards, yeah.
Just like comparison, like, it's fascinating to see like the adventure in just like in an older time. Even if some things may not translate well.
Oh, by the way, then on the Dune trailer talk. So Carson, do you still think it's coming out this year? With movies coming back these days, that could segue into our next topic. But
That is our next.
So like,
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
Tentative,
but they will move it if Wonder Woman can't come out. If there is some reason, like a reaction from movie theaters, and then all of a sudden they have to move, like all of a sudden Wonder Woman and Black Widow jump ship. I think that's the next indicator. But I think it is coming. I mean, even if this trailer was to be a year before or whatever, if it did have to move, I still think, it's fine that it comes out now.
We were talking about just a month ago about all the craziness, how like, I don't think New Mutants is going to come out. I don't think Wonder Woman. I don't think Inception. I don't think Tenet. And tickets are on sale.
Like the fact that like everybody's screenshotting like I have a purchased New Mutants ticket, like that's crazy.
Insane to me.
Yeah, like we're going next week. Like you can buy tickets to New Mutants. It still doesn't feel real, and like it still doesn't even feel real that I'm going back to the movie theater this weekend. Like I calculated it out, and since I saw Emma on March 10th, it will be from this Saturday. It will be 165 days or something since I'd been to the theater, which is just numbing because like I'm normally there once a week, and like the fact that we've endured this much, and like I'm still going to be anxious about it because I'm seeing Train to Busan on Saturday, which will there's only gonna be like,
I hate you so much.
There's only going to be like 5 people in the theater, but it's still, I just get anxious like going back because we haven't experienced it yet. We don't know. We can imagine what this looks like, and that's why Nathan, like you're going to do like a vlog experience of it because it's like it's so like just strange to be going back.
Yeah, I'm just as much as I can. I probably won't get too much in a semblance, so I probably won't get an interior recording until after my ticket's been scanned because I have to scan from my phone. That's my camera, but it should be interesting because what I'm gonna primarily do is I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna like check around, like see if there's any shift in layout from normal because I already have existing vlogs of me going to the theater, plenty of them. But to see like new semblance of like signage and like if there's any like switch up of layout within the auditoriums and stuff, just like check the bathrooms, everything, like full review of the whole complex as much as I can get, and just see like how seeing everything is, making sure people are wearing masks and stuff, just seeing the semblance of like.
Are you going to tell people to wear a mask in your video? I
mean, yeah, like whenever it's on me and I'm in the theater, yeah.
No, I mean, I can say like, "Hey, sir, wear a mask. I'm recording you."
No, just let the internet silently cancel them.
Nathan gets in the fight on camera.
I was attacked.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think you guys really sold me on seeing Inception this weekend. I wasn't going to, but I'm like, you know what? I never saw Inception I didn't see Inception in IMAX in 2010, so I might just do that.
I didn't. It's interesting. So like, I guess my first Nolan film was Dark Knight Rises, which was interesting. Another instance of a
really,
yeah. In 2012.
Wow,
that was my first Nolan film. No. I saw Dark Knight in 2008. Never mind. And then I saw on my own first time. I saw a Nolan film, Dark Knight Rises, and then I was like, by that point,
then you saw Batman Begins.
I saw Batman Begins after Rises, which was I know it's weird because like first thing I ever saw was Dark Knight in 2008, so I was jumping off of that. I tried to watch Batman Begins again. Insert Jack Sparrow gif here, but
wow,
I only got like so far before I had to leave for the theater. By the time I found it, so I saw like the first like 10 minutes of Batman Begins.
Oh my gosh!
Other than that, though, like, obviously I've seen everything now. The biggest thing for me to go see Nolan was like I was big on the hype of Interstellar, and I went to go see that its opening week. Hearing just people's word of mouth coming out because they were actually like talking physically about Nolan, they knew who they were, who he is, and it's such a great experience. I saw Inception in IMAX twice, and it's stellar. No, what did I say? Inception? I meant Interstellar.
Yeah, you said
okay,
Inception.
Yeah, I saw Interstellar twice, and it was fantastic. Like the IMAX speakers like literally rocked my seat with the takeoff of the shuttle. It was so good every time. But no, I never got to experience Inception in theaters at all, and I feel like the best way is IMAX. They do have a standard showing. There's like 3 showings a day, 2 IMAX, 1 standard. But like pretty much all of the showcasing of showtimes for my theater are like 3 o'clock and later.
Same here.
I think nothing really goes later than the 9 o'clock showing. But yeah, I'm super excited. Just to kick off going back. I'm going back as soon as tomorrow. I'm going to be seeing Empire Strikes Back, which is going to be quite the
insane,
quite the experience. I took notice they didn't specifically mark this as Dolby, but reading the layout and knowing which auditorium it was, even without reading it because I know my theater layouts. I'm a nerd, but I know it's the Dolby Theater, which is the second biggest auditorium, and that's the only day they're showcasing Empire that day, because otherwise it's being taken over by Unhinged. So lame, but the #1 movie in America, in the world, because it's the only thing that's out. But it's gonna be fun to see Empire on such a gigantic screen. I luckily did get to see it at the Force Awakens marathon in 2015. Even though I was kind of like slightly too close to the screen, so like my angle was kind of like up a little higher than you would want. It wasn't bad though. But now I'll be able to see it in like my favorite seat, and it looks like things are actually blocked off better from distance. Yeah. God. And then the following day, I'm going to be experiencing Inception IMAX, which is going to be great. And they're going to give special looks at Tenet and other behind-the-scenes semblances, which will be fun. So I can't wait to check those out and just be back in the theater. I'm opting to not get concession because
me too.
Don't want to remove my mask at all. I know other people might be in like eating because
you guys should never get concessions from movie theaters, but that's just me.
Yeah, I never do really.
Sure.
Sour Skittles all the way.
There you go. At most, I'd probably just like get a drink and then like
plug put the straw under. Yeah.
Mask. But I probably just the image.
I'm so excited to see. I'm seeing Empire on Sunday, and also I've been checking. The nice thing about reserve seating is now you can just check every single day what your auditorium is looking like, and then if you're uncomfortable with it, you can just cancel. And so like, I feel totally comfortable. Like if say my Empire screening got too full for my liking, I'd be like, all right, I'm just can refund it super easy. And they're only $5 movies because all the classics are, $5 right now, unless you're seeing Inception and like IMAX or something.
Yeah, that was only $8. So it's like half the price of an IMAX ticket.
So it's nice that you have that sense of control that like, you can find like those first matinee showings and be like, okay, there's only like 2 other people in here. I'm comfortable being like 5 rows apart from people and kind of, making sure that you can be safe as you can, which to me, it just makes it better going back that, I can still be excited to see like Empire in theaters and not just be completely anxious. Obviously, I'm still going to be like anxious about the experience, especially going on Saturday for the first time, like what the theater is going to look like. But I don't know. It's just going to be strange and weird to be back. But like also like I can't contain my excitement, and I hope that everything runs smoothly with AMC and Regal opening up this weekend. Yeah.
Okay, say, Carson, you say like you don't want it to get too packed. Are you worried for movies like Tenet or Death on the Nile or even New Mutants next week? Like there's new releases. I would think they would get kind of packed. Are you worried about that?
Well, the one thing I'm worried about is this is already in Nathan's Inception screening. He was showing me in chat today a screenshot of his auditorium, and there was like a couple rows up in front of him, there was a group of 8 people. And obviously when you book with the group or right behind him.
Yeah.
And so when you book with the group, obviously you can book out like an entire row, and then, but like, there's just that many more bodies in the auditorium because, obviously the row isn't blocked off until a group actually reserves that point in the row. But if you have a higher number of people, obviously you'll be able to sit together. So it'll just be interesting for like, an opening night Tenet situation is like, are people going to go in, big groups versus like, kind of like couples going to the movie or just, us just like going to the movies?
Could you imagine like the packed semblance of like Endgame now?
Right. And what does that look like?
Oh man,
Yeah, what does that,
my stomach just. Ugh.
and like, what does that look like at 30% capacity? You know, and it's like how much? I don't know. It just scares me.
And that's the thing is like that you're not going to equally control that every time. Like, yeah, you might
Definitely,
get walked off, but like when you have like somebody can make like, okay, this will be the final purchase available for the showtime, but then somebody could buy like 8
Right.
seats in a row, and it's like, well, that's a little higher than you would want. Especially if it's like a smaller auditorium, and if there's like available seating, that's like over 50% at that point. But
Yeah.
it'll be crazy. I mean, I'm happy that they're implementing these. I wonder how the reduced seating will affect the box office. I know looking at the like the only like new release coming out this week is Unhinged, and that has the most showtimes at like 12. Whereas everything else is like 4 or less showtimes. So
And I even imagine that older movies are going to do better than Unhinged, just because I don't think there's any really pull for Unhinged right now.
I agree. I think Empire, as we saw in, I forget, Empire was like #1 in the box office a couple weeks ago.
yeah, somewhere Harry Potter's made $1 billion.
Harry Potter in China, thanks to China.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love their Harry Potter, I guess.
Bad Boys for Life actually did 5 million opening weekend in China, which good for that movie to finally.
Yeah,
It's the number
best,
one grossing
but
movie of the year.
It's
Isn't
still
that
the number
crazy?
one. Which I think it's going to end the number one grossing movie of the year. I mean, granted, we have Tenet and Wonder Woman, but with those
You think
less
Tenet-
capacity,
well-
I don't know.
I think it would take until the end of the year for Tenet to probably cross 500 or 600 million.
I fully agree. Yeah, same. Wonder Woman is a different story though. Like that's a movie that before this whole pandemic, I was like, that's gonna break 100 million opening weekend easily, just like the first one, right? The first one was like what 105 or something like that. So
Yeah, it was like, no, I think it was like 95.
oh really?
Or maybe it was over 100. Oh no, that was Justice League. Sorry, yeah, Wonder Woman did over 100. But the story with Wonder Woman was that it had the strongest like
Legs.
week to week legs, just like down like 4%, down 10%, down 6%.
I think it beat Spider-Man 2000, 2002, whatever it came out. It's the first Spider-Man. It beat that's like domestic gross, like over 400.
But do you know what beat Wonder Woman just ever so slightly?
What did?
No, Avengers Endgame. No.
Venom.
Oh my gosh.
But that's worldwide though, right? Or domestically?
Yeah, no,
There's-
worldwide.
there's no way,
No way.
man.
No way. Venom did the domestic.
I don't know. I know. I think
Venom beat Thor and a lot of
Venom
MCU
didn't
movies.
make a billion worldwide, right? Didn't it make like a little?
820, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Venom was like slightly above that in worldwide.
Yeah.
I don't know about domestic. It's crazy.
But I think Wonder Woman 84 is gonna have legs, but it's gonna be different legs. It's probably gonna be like, I won't be surprised if we saw like at that time, if everything is going more like smoothly or on course of what it is right now. I would say like, you know, a $40 million opening weekend or something, and then just have legs of like, I know it sounds crazy, but like, gotta think realistically. It's like
you're totally right. I see what you're thinking, but
and then it's just gonna go like, it's just gonna go like 40 million, you know. And
so
then,
if you think Wonder Woman's 40, what do you think Tenet? 20?
30?
30,
That's
35.
a disaster, right? Oh my gosh.
70 million.
It seemed like a disaster, but maybe the next.
But think if you replicate, like if you do like 50 million each week cumulatively,
I
like
don't see that happen.
from, and then just like 8 weeks, just like 50 million, 50 million, 50 million, like
The first box office report is going to be so fast,
Yeah.
especially as soon as next weekend with New Mutants, which we can make an early prediction. Like I think New Mutants is going to open up to like 25 million.
no way.
Is that too high?
I'm gonna say
15.
10 to 15.
Wow, maybe I'm too optimistic.
I
I don't know.
yeah, it'll be.
I guess I don't know.
It's
like
90 minutes.
I say that, but like it's like a lot of my screenings have some people, like every auditorium that I've checked, every screen that I've checked, there's people there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's definitely a drive to go back to the movies. Like
It's the same thing for restaurants. People are so worried about going to restaurants. Restaurants are packed
Right.
now these days. So it's
Yep.
like, I don't know. People could be excited to go to the movie theaters again.
My work just got shut down. But
Sorry, Nate.
no, that's not. I mean, that's not really like a progression of audience. That's just everybody was wise to not go out. And
yeah,
my it's my company that was like stupid and was like, oh yeah, we could still make bank.
No.
But I would be remiss if I didn't discuss the blocking of seating at least AMC that we frequent. So it's interesting. It is stated that the majority auditoriums that have recliners have already been blocked distance enough by their own personal designs behind me that they meet the standard requirements to have that distance blocking, and very much so. It's already like an existing barrier. You're not going to get the frequent. They'll have like the blocking to left and right. Like thank God. Like for me, in my screening, at least in the IMAX I'm looking at, both seats on my left and right are blocked off, which is great. In the IMAX auditorium, though, where the recliners have not been renovated, it's the old school theater seats that have been around for like all the 2000s. They've blocked off every other row, which is also interesting.
I don't know if you guys can see it. Kind of like, so you have like the X, so like the solid gray is the, and then his is different, where like the rows are blocked off. But it was kind of a controversy because a lot of people, to Nathan's point about the recliners, because the theater I'm going to is technically one of the AMC dine-ins, which has a lot of the rocker seats, and then it has like the premium format like IMAX, and those also just have like, the rocker seats. Yeah. So those they had to, obviously, because those are closer to get it from the recliners, they had to block those off. So when I booked my first reservation, when the AMC showtimes opened back up, it blocked every seat around me, in front, to the side, and behind, which was nice. But other people were having it so it was for the recliner seats, because there's less seats in the theater versus what I'm talking about. There would be, just their row, like Nathan's saying, every other row, and then you could still book right to the side of another group.
That's insane.
Which is insanity. And then it blew up on Twitter, and then they finally went back on that, and then supposedly they're going back in now and either shifting those reservations or properly blocking off like they were doing with the seats at my theater.
Yeah, didn't they say they were going to do that already before, like when they were reopening?
That's what I thought. But then they kind of snuck it into the terms and conditions of like, hey, we think the recliners are like, we're going to go on an honor system. Like you can move if you don't feel comfortable. Like it's weird.
Wow. It feels like AMC is hitting every misstep, and everybody's like, no, you can't do that. And they're like, oh yeah, that's
right. And then they react and they're like, actually, no. And it's like,
okay, you do need a mask. Okay, yeah, we will block.
It's still
what's this chairman doing, dude? I will say I don't know how my layout of Empire is going to be, because that's the Dolby is recliner. I didn't update my app until after the screening was sold out, which now that it is sold out, I can't view the auditorium anymore, so I have no idea how my layout looks in terms of like the updated logo look with the X's to blockouts.
Yeah.
Of like the seat I chose.
That's kind of annoying, actually. Like they should have a live view of any auditorium that you have a reservation in, even if it's quote unquote sold out at 30% capacity, because obviously you want to see what the layout looks like and what kind of groups you're by to make a final decision. But
because when I like think back to it, I'm pretty sure when I bought it, if I did check again, I don't know if I had anything blocked around me. I just like I would see people like bought like pairs of two or stuff, and I didn't see an semblance of blocking next to them, and then that freaks me out because there's like literally like last time I checked through like Atom tickets just to check back, because it was marked as sold out on the AMC apps, but it was still up for Atom. There was 4 whole people next to me, and I would hope that's just 2 people with 2 blocked off
seats. Yeah.
But if it's not, that's 4 whole people right next to me, and it's like I bought my ticket first. I shouldn't have to move.
And what if there's no viable seat to move to that you feel comfortable with? Like because it is sold out at that capacity. What if every row has staggered people, and then you're at the same distance from where you originally were to any given amount of group? It's just scary.
And I had and like I was checking around, and I was the first one to buy in my row, but then like I would look back, and it's like people start filling up on the row behind me and stuff, and it's like.
Are they going to have ushers in individual movie theaters?
That's the next question.
Like, who's gonna monitor each situation? Because it's gonna be chaos this weekend.
Yeah, like
This is the case. Yeah.
They need to keep that in place. They can't just have like they have a set rule. You must always wear a mask, including during the film, unless you're eating or drinking. And if you're
That's
not
going to happen.
You should have to make sure your mask is on, dude. Like it would be simple. Even like if you're the one risk taker who actually decides to do that, like just like pop your mask up like while you eat, but then like immediately pull it down when you're done. Like don't like leave throughout the whole film mouth breathing in this pandemic. That's horrifying, and we're gonna get everything shut down again, and then the whole industry goes down.
Wow.
It's yeah, I know, but it's interesting too that with AMC opening up, they're offering a lot of perks to incentivize everybody to come back. Like just for starters, as of tomorrow, no showing is available anymore for my theaters tomorrow. Everything's closed off because everybody took advantage of the deal. AMC's having a promo tomorrow where every movie ticket in 2020 on that day is going to be priced like they were in 1920, where every ticket is 15 cents. So I'm literally seeing Empire Strikes Back in Dolby quality for 15 cents, which sounds amazing.
So that theater is sold out, right?
For the 30%, yes. And like literally every showing that day tomorrow is blocked off. Every movie, every re-release of like whether it's Back to the Future or like even newer films like Sonic that are come back, like, everything is just taken up. Nothing's available. And it's really interesting that they did that. And then like the next day or existing days to come, all movie tickets are $5 unless you're paying the IMAX premium, which is $8, which is already half price from how it normally was.
Or seeing a new movie, if you're seeing it unhinged, it's normal price.
Okay.
Really?
But yep.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
And for like Stubbs members or like AMC account members, they've already like preloaded you with $10 of free Stubbs points, which is great. That's how I was able to pay for both of my tickets for tomorrow. I still have $1.85 left over. And to that a semblance as well, concessions, which have been limited back to basically just like popcorn, drinking candy like normal. Everything is now a set definitive $5, which is I think slightly cheaper than what they normally were. I think even with the stub discounts, everything's $5 all the way up until after Halloween. So for the next couple months, all these discounts are in place for at least this time being. And, they're just like really want people to come back. And I can imagine, it just feels like they're doing everything to get people to come back, which is understandable. They want to make money. But it's weird to like look at like, please come in, like here, $5 snacks, a 15-cent ticket. Like, just please show up.
It's crazy. Well, the other thing I was just looking at is I was like curious what Regal is doing, because Regal is also, and I'm looking curiously enough, they're showing The Force Awakens as one of their classic movies.
I wish mine would.
And it's weird because I went in and I thought that the grayed out seats were people because it was pretty spread out,
right.
But it looks like for when you go in, because I compared two showtimes and the seats were the exact same. So basically,
those are the block.
They grayed out. I don't know if you can see all on the side there. They grayed out all of those and all the showings like that.
Those are the ones you can't sit in?
But those are the ones you can't sit in. But why would they not react to where people book and then block out? Why would they block the sides like that versus...
So
it looks like
pre-blocked out.
Yeah.
So that's pre-blocked out, and they're like squeezing people in towards the middle because there's no...
That's
I'm
worse.
like, what?
That makes no sense.
I mean, and who's the weirdo that's going to pick the like end seats? I know we joked about that.
Right.
But like...
I'm so confused. Like, why would you... I don't know. It's just
I feel
weird.
like it'd be such an easy system put in place where like you select a seat and then it will automatically, like the same way it automatically generates your highlight for what you select. Just put like two spare highlights.
It's the same shit. It's just
it just a slightly extra step. And
let me look for unhinged. I want to see what.
And it can just bump over for like how many you decide to add.
Unhinged.
That's too much, man. That's bizarre.
What the heck?
Just looking at my IMAX.
Yeah, it's got the same thing for unhinged too. Like all the side ones are like grayed out. Why would you do that?
Wow.
Because that's no way that's a 1 p.m. showing of unhinged has that many people. So I obviously know that these are like the grayed out, and maybe that group in the front there that's like
that
next.
Makes no sense.
You know what? I was looking at alternative showtimes for like normal recliner seats at my theater, and they did have the blocked off on the left and right, which is I'm impressed that they're doing that in like such tiny auditoriums as well. But yeah, so I guess that gives me hope for my attendance for the Dolby. But I hope
Yeah.
it wasn't like a last minute addition where like I'm already screwed over if I show up. So I guess I'll know when I get there.
Yeah.
I also
Bottom
wanna-
line, we just got to keep talking about it because got to keep theaters accountable, and obviously the reactions from people on Twitter are getting the attention of AMC, Regal, and
Yep.
getting them to change and adapt to make this as in control and safe as they can. Which I hope that they keep listening, and hopefully even all this like seating stuff. I think, like Evan said, we're going to see kind of like a chaotic weekend, regardless of how many people actually show up. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people tweeting and like, hey, I was just at my local AMC, and there's just like everyone sitting next to each other. There's going to be,
this guy behind me doesn't have his mask on, and they didn't enforce it. And what's going on?
You're gonna get like a horror story, like someone sneezed on my neck. Like,
oh god,
the horror. To that point though, of like I want to be able to see if I can get there early enough to a previous showtime for them to be. I mean, it probably won't just based on the space of this auditorium, but if I could see their a semblance of steam cleaning the theaters after everyone leaves, I would be intrigued to see what that looks like.
Me too. We keep seeing videos of it, but I want to be like in person, like y'all better clean this and move.
I know my work. They said they were gonna implement that for like the like intricate obstacle course that we have. I've never seen it used. I've never seen it happen, but so that's alarming. But like every time I've never seen anybody do that, so I'm just like,
yeah, it's like. It reminded me of this SpongeBob episode where Mr. Krabs like has that one guy making Krabby Patty. It's like I've never seen how it's made. Then you go behind the scene, just like disgusting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to be just like they sit down like machines that just go to fog the theater. If they're going to go to individuals, just
like have a crew member like go and.
You say crew member? It's gonna be some tired teenager doing all this stuff haphazardly.
With a haphazardly, Jesus.
That's what worries me. It's like. We saw all the promo videos of like enjoy coming back to Regal theaters, where it's just like it was like Twilight Zone. I was waiting for Jordan Peele to like show up and like give me a monologue about how I should go about my theater going experience. But it was like it looked pretty it looked like someone was actually going in after each showing and like spraying down each seat and going up each row. But
I hope it's the same semblance as like when people pick up the empty popcorn tins, which don't leave those behind. But also, I would be worried that like, just like for pure safety, you need to steam every individual seat. Like,
because obviously you're not like mentally you're not like looking at your seat map either way. You should be wiping down all the seats.
I know they're not, because I've always been like either early or stick around long enough that I see the ushers cleaning, and like they'll go around and just like if there's like a couple pieces of popcorn, they're like sweep off. They're not like wiping down the seats. They're totally not. Yeah, they're just like getting like what's easy to spot and like what's clearly needs to get taken. But there's no disinfecting every time.
Yeah, granted, I think the workers are actually going to be really motivated just because it's kind of. They haven't been back for so long, and it's it's obviously a privilege to have a job right now, and just like I feel like people are gonna work hard to keep that job for as long as they can, whether it's open or not, and they're literally contributing to how safe it can be.
Yeah, I was about to say their jobs are on the line.
Literally, like when I did go back to work, like the whole top priority of what I primarily did was just like wipe down stuff, clean, disinfect, because it's a trampoline park of children.
God, it's so terrifying.
It is. Well, like a bunch have been shut down now, so obviously that didn't pan out well. So learn from this, theaters. Please just do right. Like
their jobs are on the line here. If they don't clean correctly, people are going to get sick. Theaters are going to shut down, and then they'll be out of the job too. So everybody just has to be super, super careful.
Yep.
Absolutely. Is there any more in terms of news we wanted to discuss before getting into our film reviews?
Not that I can
I don't think so. Yeah.
Real quick. Olivia Wilde being Spider-Woman.
Yes,
that was announced today.
Very cool. Very cool. It's not going to be her next project because I tweeted out her next project after Booksmart is the psychological thriller set in the 1950s with
Yes.
Chris Pine, Florence Pugh, Dakota Johnson, and Shia LaBeouf.
Oh,
What
Holy
a
crap.
yeah.
give me that.
So awesome.
That's coming
And
soon.
they're like
Woo.
about to film. Like I'm pretty sure they had that was all locked. Like that was good. Or like she was gonna film that like right after Booksmart or something. And
Exactly. So that's coming up. But yeah, I'm super excited for Spider-Woman.
It's the Jessica Drew iteration, not a Gwen Stacy. It's a
Oh yeah, definitely.
Jessica Drew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is been fascinating because it's such a different spider persona because it's not the traditional like web slinging. Maybe recently I think she switched up to being like that, but like primarily like the iteration of Spider-Woman has just been vastly different of power sets, even though it is spider based. It's just it's almost confusing like how they even have this same semblance. Like other than like the like eye mask, not much of it like super connects to the spider look you would think. I don't know if they're gonna do new iteration updates, but it's definitely something intriguing.
The big thing is it's Sony's move here, which they're trying to flesh out their whatever you want to call it, Sony
Spider-Verse.
SSU. So I wonder how much where we're gonna see this tie into things down the line. I would think after this Marvel trilogy, right, Nathan, that's where it would probably bridge eventually.
After the Tom Holland Spider-Man 3.
After the Spider-Man 3. Do you think I don't know. Or do you think that we never would see it with Tom Holland Spider-Man and just kind of...
I would hope whatever Sony and Disney's new deal strikes up is you can still have the existing Spider-Man MCU story, so you can still have him exist in the larger universe, but when it focuses on his films, he can still have MCU people appear, but then also you can have the Sonyverse characters appear, and then vice versa. Tom can appear in Sony-related projects. I just don't. You wouldn't see like Venom pop up in an Avengers film,
right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm more so for the Spider-Man movies, the main ones like Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6 and beyond. I don't think we'll see a Venom in those movies because those are so closely related to the MCU. Right. But I think you could see Tom Holland in a Venom 3 or Tom Holland in Carnage or Tom Holland in Morbius. Like I think he can go into their movies. I don't think they'll go into his movies.
Yeah.
Which that could definitely change. But
I think it's beneficial for them to, keep renewing the deal and simultaneously build out the different characters that they do have. And then, they can bank on those appearances of having him show up, which I think makes the most sense right now.
Yeah, because I would be, and for like more personable like Spider-Man event stories, like I would love for them to be able to achieve a Sinister Six ensemble or a Spider-Verse if they were to develop that. And those are stories that you don't need MCU connection to tell. So
yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But also I wonder, I'm not the biggest Jessica Drew fan. Like my Spider-Verse favorite characters are Gwen Stacy, Miles Morales. I'm blanking on his name, but the guy Spider-Man 2099. Like those are my favorites. Miguel, yeah, exactly. Those are my favorite Spider-Verse characters. But so I'm very curious. I might have to start reading some Jessica Drew comics. I wonder what kind of age they're going for the Jessica Drew casting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm also like not the most knowledgeable of Jessica Drew. I know she's a fan favorite. I think she's been like a well-established agent of S.W.O.R.D., which I think they maybe move forward in MCU.
Oh, okay.
Bridge that. I don't know, but I'm more intrigued for it because I know they announced they were working on this project, the Cindy Moon Silk Spider Person.
Where is that at? Because I was looking that up. S.J. Clarkson is developing a Marvel movie, but apparently she's doing a Madam Web movie.
Oh yeah, the Madam Web.
I forgot about that.
Like, is that still like? I gotta look it up right now because there's no way we can do that, right?
She was attached to
Star
Trek 4, right? And then she jumped and then went to this, right?
Dude, I'm so off-put at the thought of like Madam Web on her own. I think it works well. Again, like if you want to tell a Spider-Verse story, Madam Web would be like the perfect bridge. But on her own, that just sounds so odd.
Yeah, so right now they're writing a Spider-Man Madam Web, and combine that with there's an untitled movie that S.J. Clarkson is doing for Sony. So people are piecing those two news pieces together, saying she's going to direct the movie that's being written about Madam Web. But I just cancel that project. Nobody wants a Madam Web movie.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sorry.
I mean,
but
Madam
it
Web
seems
is a
boring.
good character, but like not for the star.
Not
role.
Yeah,
not
she's a supporting
protagonist.
character. Put her in a Spider-Verse movie when you do that 10 years from now.
It's exactly like if you were to like take a Matrix project and like we're making an Oracle movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, nobody wants that.
Right. No, it works in the grand scheme of the project.
Mhm.
But
give me a Silk movie, man. I love Silk.
that's such a cool the aspect of another spider person that was bit kind of like with Miles bit by the same spider that
By the
Peter
same
was bit
spider, yeah.
That's
And her
cool.
webs are much more like organic and interesting.
Yeah, like it shoots out the fingertips.
Yeah.
That's cool. And
love
great
it.
costume design as well.
Yeah.
It's cool for, like the first iteration costume. It's all webbing because, and I think like her whole thing is like she was like locked in like this bunker area for like
locked in a bunker for like over 10 years or over a couple of years, and when she gets out she loses track of her family, so her whole mission is to find her family who's also looking for her, and
she's a great character.
I bet they'll do it. I think I feel like every 3 months we get another announcement that like Sony's doing this and Sony's doing this, and it's like the only two that have snuck through so far is the Venom stuff and the Morbius and whatever, that like I think it's just kind of a waiting game to like kind of see what's on the horizon. Like it's kind of sad to say, but I think this Olivia Wilde movie is happening, especially with how fast she confirmed it. And then obviously the Venom 2, and then I guess and then obviously we're gonna finish out the Marvel side of things with the trilogy, and then I think they're gonna renew the deal after that. And and then we'll see what characters they want when, hopefully Tom gets another trilogy with on the Marvel side of things, and then they'll probably implement by that point. Hopefully they get a vision of like, okay, we want to go with the Silk movie, and then Tom's going to show up here, and then they kind of have a roadmap, because it feels like honestly a lot of the Sony stuff, it feels so miscellaneous when they announce it. You're like, whoa.
Oh no, I mean
it does.
There was like a whole thing with like the Black Cat Silver Sable stuff, and then it's like it's separate but also together, and
everyone was confused, and like
especially
with like obviously when you have Spider-Man characters so linked to Spider-Man, and then their debut of them is a solo movie because of the main limelight of how everybody knows Spider-Man is linked to the MCU right now. It just makes things like, why would you do that? Like, it's just so confusing. Like,
and then they don't interact with Spider-Man,
right? And then they don't interact,
like Venom and Morbius. Like, why?
But like, did you see the video game poster in the background? Like,
it's so bizarre having Venom with no Spider-Man hate, and how you can even get the semblance of the eyes without the spider suit attachment. I mean, he doesn't have a spider at all, which is insane. I imagine somewhere down the line they'll get that whole storyline fixed out and then get his proper final look.
You would hope.
You would hope. But I think what makes me more intrigued to do like the Silk project other than the Jessica Drew is because just like the more sense of diversity. I mean, it's great that we got Miles in the sense, even if it's animated, through him. And I know the MCU eventually wants to get there. I know Feige has intrigue in everybody. But also Cindy Moon would be a great prominent role of a leading female lead of Asian nationality, which would be great. For a starring superhero, I think like Shang-Chi is like the only like closest thing we're getting currently.
It is, yeah.
So it's long overdue to be like in more a semblance accompaniment of all that, and it's shaky to put all the faith in Sony just based off of like what they did with Mark Webb and Sam Raimi. Yeah. So it's scary, but I have hope that things will go right.
Third time's a charm.
And also like no hate to Olivia Wilde. I'm excited to see what she does because I love Booksmart. So we will see where things go.
Yep.
And with that said, we watched some movies. Luckily, I last night pulled through to watch Good Time finally. I started at 4 a.m. because I was like, if I don't watch this now, I'm not gonna watch this before.
Honestly, that's the best time to watch Good Time. Like just
Is it
because of
though?
the event.
It kind of was, honestly. I was
Were you tired? Did you comprehend the movie?
I started to get tired toward the end, but I was tired from suspense exhaustion because it's so suspense. I forgot the Safdie brothers did this, so immediately when I started up, I got the Uncut Gems vibe, and I was just like, with just like the grainy atmosphere, and I was just like, hang on, we're in for one of these, aren't we? And it's so. I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. It's just
chaotic.
Yeah, dude, it was I remember reading the description of it, but it kind of just goes to the wayside when you just like start up because you're following with the brother of Robert Pattinson, and it's fascinating because it's the whole startup where he's in a session and then Robert Pattinson's character comes in, like pulls him away from it, you know, but obviously like the whole message is like this is a place where he can like properly get help for like who he is, but
yeah.
I also like get the sense that Robert Pattinson, as like horrible decisions as his character makes, he actually does care about his brother. Like he goes like so many lengths throughout this film to get to him. And I'm gonna break down all these twists and turns that I experienced watching this film because I was not ready. I had already previously seen Uncut Gems, and I was a fan of it for sure. I love the suspense of it going around, and the performances were great. Watching this was interesting because immediately from the bank heist, it was such a subtle bank heist.
The paint. And you're like, oh my God.
This was the thing. I was intrigued because they were just going back and forth with the notes. And then like she goes to the back and I'm just like, I wouldn't trust that.
At that moment, I'm like, you lost. You lost. As soon as she went back, I'm like, you guys are the worst bank robbers of all. I'm like, you don't leave my sight.
I was impressed with their layout because they had like clothes over clothes. They had masks that looked very like realistic flesh. So it was cool when they like go to the alleyway and they start like stripping down. They get to the ride, which like almost intersects with the cops, but luckily they get through and it's like cool. And they're like going around and things are going well. And as soon as he passes the bag over, I was like, is it one of those things where it's like the paint bomb that explodes? But no, it starts misting everywhere. And I'm like, no. Like,
you don't mess up.
No, but there's like another sense of anxiety because not only are they spilling out of the car and they got to get away, but also his brother's like freaking out too. So he has to calm him at the same time. And then they just like storm straight into like a Domino's. And I'm just like, Jesus, dude, how you going through all this? And it's insane. And then you start getting to the main plot where they're like trying to move away. Like they get right out of there and they're trying to stay cool, but his brother doesn't. And then they bolt and then he gets captured. And he's in. It was crazy. I forgot it was even in New York, and I was like, "Oh, he's probably held in like some station." And it was like, "No, he's in Rikers." And I'm like, "Jesus Christ, that's an important prison." Jesus, that's a big one. But and it's just like the assembly's like he's going to this clerk dude who can like help with the bail money, like for laundering and everything. And he
needs some more money, yeah.
Yeah, and he keeps trying to work, and he's like trying to work off his girlfriend who is just going through the ringer of like trying to support this dude.
God, yeah.
Jennifer Jason Leigh did great. Like as little screen time as she had, like there's a lot of stuff that goes down. It was such insanity because like it's like you hit every brick wall along this journey. It's like, okay, we're gonna get this money, but the car gets declined. It's like crap, and he's like trying to like work with the guy. Like, well, okay, can I get that 10,000 back that I gave you? And it's like, no, it's mine. It's like great. So now you just have to work from scratch again.
Yeah.
And you're going.
And the whole thing of like, okay, I can't remember the exact order, but he has like, isn't he like hiding out in? He meets that girl, right?
Oh,
like
before that though, he realizes that his brother was transferred to the hospital after he gets jumped in prison, and it's like, okay, that's crazy. And so we go through I was on the edge of my seat the whole time of just like breaking his brother out, and it was so fascinating. I was like on the edge of my seat. I was like, they go into the patient transport, and it's like, if you get caught here, you're cornered and done. And then they get taken off, and he sways the dude to go for like a couple blocks further so that they're not caught. And it's like, okay, cool. And then they hunker down with the people after they can't get into the place. And it's like, okay, cool. And then he starts like going through all this stuff, and it just gets weirder and weirder within that family's home, dude, where it's just like obviously there's a kind of a broken family dynamic. He's like rating their hair dye in the bathroom and everything.
Yeah, but then like the big twist though when he took
No, that was the thing though. I didn't catch on to that immediately. At first, I was just like, man, his brother's speaking like very fluently in this pressured time. I was impressed. But then like it like clicks when he says like that's not his brother at all, and it just
mind
threw me
blown.
for the biggest loop because I was like, what do you do? Like you're just like stuck in here. He's roping this little girl into like this whole mix, which just sucks.
Yeah, I know. Bringing her along for the ride, I'm like,
It's so uncomfortable. It's like
It's so her age makes it more uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It
no, and then they
it
start
was
like
very bad.
Yeah, because he has to hide from the police report, but it's like, God, it's awful. And then they take the
and don't
car.
they take was it the grandma or the mom's car or
I
something?
think grandma's. Yeah.
Of course, it's the grandma's car.
They take the and like and obviously like she's picking up this is like some shady stuff, but she's already here. And they're going through the hospital, and it's like well, they can't go in, and then they go stop at this place, and this dude's telling his story about like this whole acid trip stuff through an amusement park, and it's like, what the hell is going on? And then they get the converging plan to work together, and it's like, okay, let's go get the acid, we'll split it and for profit. And it's like, cool. But they couldn't get the bag of money. All they found was the acid. And what horrible circumstance that they jumped the security guard and drugged him, and he gets taken away.
Poor guy. Yeah. Isn't
yet.
this the guy from what's it called? Captain Phillips. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the captain now.
Good to see him again.
Poor
But,
dude.
that was such a wild sequence to go through. And then like he impersonates the security guard, and that's insane.
Oh,
He's trying to help this dude the whole time. And then they go to his house, his apartment, sway his dog, and then they just camp out there for a bit before trying to develop this new deal. And it's just insane the lengths they're going to, like, and I'm just like, is he ever going to get his brother out? This is insane. And then they start making the deal. The dude leaves, and then Pattinson's out again. And then you just look down, and like he's getting chased by cops, and he gets caught. And then the other dude's trying to get out, and then he falls from the window.
Oh, dude!
And I'm like, what? Everything's falling apart, and anxiety starts revving up when I'm just like looking at Pattinson in the back seat because we're zooming in on his face, and I'm like, is this the end of the movie? Almost. But then it cuts over to his brother, and I was like, okay, cool, it's not the end of the movie. However, it basically is because you don't go back to him. It's established. No, he's arrested.
That's the tragedy of it. It's just like you come down from the high only to just be snapped right back into reality. It's just like the consequences all fall down on him.
Which is very similar to Uncut Gems. Like these directors have a very nice job of getting into the psychology and getting into the mindset of these characters where they're you can see why they're doing certain things for a good reason, but there's such a
You want them to stop simultaneously.
Exactly.
But I want you to stop. Please stop.
Yeah. There's a deeper thing in their mindset. Yeah. There's a deeper thing in their mindset. We can kind of see like they're doing this also for very selfish and messed up reasons that they just can't understand. It's crazy.
Yeah, like just thinking back to Uncut Gems, spoilers. Like the whole time he's just the worst gambling addiction in the world, but it's just like you want him to stop, but at the same because he's not living uncomfortable, frankly. But I also like with how much he's like getting knocked down again and again. I want to see him have some success,
and for his family too. You want his family to be happy.
And what a gut punch by that when like he actually wins and like everything's good and he lets the people out and then he dies. He gets shot. It's so insane. And just watching this film again, it's like, you know, potentially we can like get this stuff going. I feel like had Pattinson just waited and like he didn't agitate the dog, the cops wouldn't have been caught. Everything would have been fine. He could have made the transaction, but
that's not who he is. Yeah,
no, he's not. And he left and he got caught, and now he's locked up. And his brother is luckily in a place where he can get help that he needs. But it sucks because at the same time he also has his own personal trauma he's gone through, and he's lost his brother now. And the whole rest of the movie plays out while the credits roll, and I'm just like sitting there like, oh my god, this is Jesus.
It makes you realize how unnecessary all of his loopholes were. Him going round and round, and then cutting to the brother at the end. It's kind of it's kind of a similar position where the movie started. It was like, you know, all of that for what, you know, like all that just to end up just as far apart.
and
Yeah.
with so many people like screwed over and now dead. I mean, like the little girl got taken into custody. I mean, she probably like be fine and will be able to like swing a story like this crazy dude brought me along. But what about the security dude who was now high on acid in different clothing? That ain't gonna end well, probably. That's
poor guy. I know.
Poor guy. I love the Safdie brothers style of filmmaking. They have like that extra like film grain implemented over the cinematography, and a lot of it feels a lot more personal in that sense. And I think that what adds to the more uncomfortable nature is that just like the setting you're in, it being more intimate to that level, kind of like when you would like record something on your phone and like it has like that grainy quality, but like it's an event that happened. You kind of get that feel here, but you're in such a horrible situation, and it unnerves you, and it's all thriller based, and just like the distant shots and like their soundtrack choices of like the for synth, it's off.
Yeah, I can't remember too. I think they use a lot of handheld during, especially like during like the chase sequences and
a lot during the chase sequences.
Yeah,
like you're actually there.
Yeah, you're like there, and just oh man, just chaotic, and you can't escape at any sense. There's no with the Safdie brothers, there's just no room to breathe, and that's all for the best with them. It's just chaos to the very end, and you just like you finally get to breathe, and then shit just keeps going. You're like, wow, what? And you just like think back of like all of that just happened. It's just they're relentlessly paced movies, but like yet they have so much going on that you can like get at any given moment, if that makes any sense. It's just crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was watching and I was trying to like think for myself if I liked A Good Time or Uncut Gems more. And I was thinking initially while I was watching Good Time, I was like, this is the superior film immediately. But then just thinking about like the climax of both films, I feel like Uncut Gems kind of takes it there because it just gets so suspenseful with just like the setup here, because he like when you have like these loan sharks who are like locked in a cage essentially, and you're like hoping this dude wins, and he's got like multiple points of like family riding on him and stuff, and like other relationships, and there's just like a lot set versus the just brother dynamic basically. But I mean both are great, but I it's a tough call. I think I'd probably like Uncut Gems more, but I still like loved Good Time so much. It's insane, and Pattinson was phenomenal in it. Like, dude's come so far from Twilight. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. It's funny just like thinking this dude is Cedric Diggory, but
I know
over here running acid around.
My boy.
My boy. Like,
that's my boy.
I want to make an edit of the. No, it's never mind.
Way too complicated.
I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, it's God, dude. It was such a ride. But I think I need to get back into the realm of lightheartedness for a bit. Because I was already put through the ringer with Your Name emotionally, and then now I'm here and I'm just like, where's my sense of hope?
But I guess that brings me to like my Ghibli movies, because Ghibli is all about hope. There's a lot of hope.
Yes.
I say that though, like one of the ones that I watched like last week that I didn't get to talk about was The Tale of Princess Kaguya. Or Kaguya.
Oh, yeah. Heartbreaking movie. Heartbreaking movie.
You didn't warn me, man, because my brother and I we were loving the movie. Like, this is a great movie. It's a very I don't want to say hopeful, but it's very wholesome movie at first. Like, it's very like this family finds this woman who they want to love and help protect and become parents towards, but also like there's also a deep mythological meaning to it too that you don't really get at first, but then it comes back towards the third act and it gets like pretty heartbreaking. And this is Isao Takahata.
Yeah, his last movie.
I really butchered that name probably, but yeah, that's his last movie, and I'm like, just like Grave of the Fireflies, you get this very sweet movie with a very dark undertone, and it just creeped up on my brother and I. We're like, that's the end, really, and it broke my heart. But it's also a very good movie. The animation is excellent in that movie.
Probably one of my favorite animation styles I've seen of the Ghibli movies. It's so
Me
cool.
too. It's so cool.
Like,
and you show that gif of the running away sequence.
That scene is so fantastic.
It's so good because she's going through a lot, and it's very interesting because of course she's a very supernatural figure, and she's going through this
Yet
very tough time.
She's more humble than she becomes more humble than the human figures in
the
it.
human figures.
I love,
Exactly.
especially her dad. It's heartbreaking to see what her dad goes through because he thinks that he's being righteous and his goal has become to get her the highest status, the highest husband in the land, the highest castle, whatever it takes. But yet it becomes his own selfish endeavor, and he's blind to the fact that like she just wants to live a humble life and live in the garden with her mom and just like do all those things
and have a normal life. And towards this end sequence, the third act, like these movies are masters of third act.
So good.
There are so many different like ways this movie could end. I would just say, and it's like, oh, is this how the movie ends? Yeah, I'm happy. And it's like, nope. And then the movie ends, and with the real ending, I'm just like left there in tears, speechless. And
dude, when they're both like standing there, and then it goes into like that one sequence of like,
oh my god, I'm like, oh, Takahata, why? But also, I have to talk about which might be in my top 3 or top 5 Ghibli movies, and that is When Marnie Was There. That movie,
I haven't seen it yet, but
masterpiece, Carson.
That's one of the latest ones. That's like
it's the latest
movie.
one, 2014, and
wow,
it's excellent, guys. I'm telling you, the animation, of course, is excellent. It's the most modern Ghibli movie, and you can kind of see that, because they're all using cell phones and they're all like going through this teenage endeavor here. But the main character is very shy. She's very relatable. She moves in. Her aunt has her move in with her like other family members, like her other aunt and uncle, to take care of her in this other town near the ocean, so she can get better, so she can form better relationships. But she's also just very shy, doesn't want to talk to other people. But then she sees like this castle, and she sees this girl Marnie, and they start to form an interesting and intriguing relationship. But there's also an undercurrent of a mystery, an undercurrent of a drama here that kind of creeps up on you as the movie's going on, that keeps you guessing until the very last act of this movie where everything is revealed. And man, like
you got me hooked.
It's fascinating. It's incredibly fascinating because, like I said, like it'll keep you guessing the entire movie. I have so much fun trying to see what the real dilemma here, what the real like meaning of this movie is, and going through this for the main character's development. It was so fascinating and heartbreaking, but also hopeful, and like there's a roller coaster of emotions if there ever was one.
Speaking of keeping you guessing, I'll quickly mention the movie that I'll talk about is I watched the Amy Semetz's it's distributed by Neon. It's called She Dies Tomorrow. It's like a low budget thriller that just came out.
I saw you tweet about this.
Yeah. And so I'll give you the premise. I don't want to give too much away.
Because I might
kind of like one. It's kind of like a slow burn psychological thriller where where fear is contagious, essentially. So basically, and you don't understand why, and it doesn't necessarily give you the answers that you want. It's a very ambiguous movie where it doesn't pull together in the third act. It only pulls together her experience and where that fear stems from, I suppose. Okay. But it essentially starts out where she's kind of in this like crazy kooky mood, and you don't really understand what she's doing. And then her friend comes over, and then that fear of like, oh, I'm gonna die tomorrow. I'm gonna submit to death. Basically, fuck it. Like I'm just gonna live. Either you see different movie as the fear spreads to different people. You see the reactions. They're either just like they go through just like these roller coaster emotions of like, oh, I'm dying, to like, oh my god, just like, and just the things that they do. And there's some very like subliminal moments in this movie where like you realize that people do stuff when they're faced with death. Like it's just it's kind of like an art house movie. It's very kind of like, I wouldn't say pretentious, but also it kind of has an edge to it that you're not expecting, and it definitely keeps you guessing. And it's interesting alone for the performances. Let me give you the main actress and see what they've been in. Where'd you hear about this movie? Because I've never heard of it.
Because
I follow Neon on Twitter, and it's distributed by them, and so I saw that it went on digital.
I saw an ad for it on YouTube. Of, like, a trailer for it. And dude, I was so hooked by the premise. The thought of like somebody being like freaking out to their friends, like I feel like I'm gonna die tomorrow, and everybody's like, no, like come on, like that's crazy
Yeah.
talk. And like later they'd be like, well, what if I am like?
Yeah. No, especially it's
Wow.
like it kind of reminds the best way to describe this movie is it kind of feels like if you could tell if like anxiety was like easy to talk about with everybody, if everyone was just like straightforward with their thoughts of like, oh my God, like all this stuff is happening in my life. Like, even if it's, you know, you're not close with these people, like some of the people in this movie aren't close, but you just see like all this spewing and about like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And then they're like, you know, basically some people will just like laugh it off. Like, what are you saying? And then you see like that switch. And also there's a couple actors that show up and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that like she was going to show up. Like there's some prominent cameos that
I like that.
I think you guys will like, but it's definitely a very, I would kind of equate it to something like, I don't know, maybe like reminds me of a little bit about Annihilation times like Annihilation times a Ghost Story kind of. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
It's still on my watch list. I hope it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
I want to watch
but
it.
it's kind of like that existential crisis movie, kind of slow, kind of half baked at the same time, but yet there's like a thriller elements to it. I don't know. It's just a very interesting and out there concept that I think everyone just kind of needs to see for the premise.
I mean, I'm definitely intrigued to check it out for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw it
that's
on
all
your
I
list,
got.
and I'm like, I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish we had a TV talk because I'd love to talk Lovecraft Country.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe next week. But once I watch the first
we can do a
episode.
separate episode about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was a great premiere. But yeah, that would about do it on our longest My Cup of Tea yet. Thank you, Robert Pattinson. Yeah, dude, that was just that was a blast. I love that we were able to cover so many different topics, like different sub levels of topics for that matter. Like not just movie news, but individual trailers and just like breaking stuff, existing real world movie theater business. Like that was so great. But I'm excited to dive back into the movie theater business, and in the following days, for that matter, for at least me and Carson, we're going to be discussing our experience of seeing Empire Strikes Back for 40th anniversary, as it is, on the big screen on Friday for Hyperspace Hype, which you can catch us there talking all things Star Wars. And then we'll be back next week for My Cup of Tea, where me and maybe Evan will be discussing our experience seeing Inception. So that'll be fun. But with that being said, Evan, where can the people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at HarrisEV9, talking all things movies coming back, Dune hype, and of course Big Brother. That's like the love of my life right now. But yeah, find me on there.
All right, Carson, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at the Film Carson. Going back to the movies for the first time in so long this weekend. You guys will see my review of the new Train to Busan sequel. If you haven't seen the first movie, it is on Netflix, and I highly recommend. It is one of the best zombie movies in the past 5 to 10 years, I would say. It's fantastic, and I think everyone should watch it. I've heard mixed things about the sequel. It's kind of more action, CGI oriented, so we'll see how it goes down. And also, I'm just excited to reminisce about, you know, we had that big episode of Hyperspace Hype where we just talked about, you know, Empire and all the whatever moments it might have been. I'm excited to just kind of reminisce about Empire because we could talk for hours about that. But yeah, catch us on Hyperspace Hype.
Along with the perhaps the Mandalorian season 2 trailer, if that also piques your intrigue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be very fun to discuss. But yeah, you can find all of our social medias linked in the description below. You can find me primarily on Twitter. Geeking out, especially this weekend, over DC everything. Hoping to get the best stuff for Robert Pattinson's Batman, and you're going to get, for every bit of footage that's going to drop, my reaction here on the channel. So if you have any intrigue with that, or if you like this podcast, make sure you hit like, subscribe if not already. And that being said, I hope you have a great day, and may the force be with you always.